Welcome back to the Red Sage Podcast, the place where we prioritize our passions and use our prosperity as proof of our progression. I am Robert Grant.
This your boy Stevie Baby.
You already know it's Tristan, not to be confused with Tristan, not to be confused with Lethal, not to be confused with Spirit, not to be confused with, and here's a new one, Cornelius the Weavy Wonder.
Man,
You come up with some different shit. What Spirit came from?
When I played games.
That wasn't a real question.
Wait. Damn! Wow!
early
I'm just
with
fucking
it.
with you. I'm just fucking with you.
Fucking cutting off. You know what? Now y'all ain't about to know it. That was a whole backstory to Tristan's lore.
Man,
But now fuck it.
we
fuck
got
it
a
now.
doozy for y'all today.
Hey, bro, don't get so sensitive.
Nope.
Don't get so sensitive, man.
It's over.
You can tell us what
It's done. Nope.
What Spirit
Nope.
came from. Man.
Nope.
What your spirit animal?
Let's get on with it.
You wanna-
Chop chop.
You want to get your spirit
Chop us
animal?
out. Chop stop. Chop us stop. Let's go.
Look, we've been gone for not too long, but we've been gone for a little minute. But as promised, we've been working on our production value. We've been working on bringing the visuals to y'all on YouTube. We want to give a great thank you to everybody who helped us reach 2,000 views on YouTube. That's a milestone for us. Give them a little round of applause.
Yeah.
Just a
What you
pat on the back.
You know, we appreciate y'all for real. Today we got a lot. We got emails we finally getting to. We got a new set
Finally.
a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Some new stuff up in here.
Hey, give us feedback on how this looks because we could definitely work on aesthetics and tweaking shit, you know?
Yeah, if y'all want to be closer, you know what I mean? Get them close-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all good being, you know what I'm talking about, across the table from your boys.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to get started with them emails, man. It's been
For
a
sure.
while.
Oh, wait.
We've been,
Let's shout out our boy Ty shirts. We working.
Because we
Yeah,
working,
you know,
baby.
I know
We
y'all
working.
see, if you can't, let me get you the close-up.
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
get 'em.
I couldn't really get a shirt, but I am getting a shirt very soon as tomorrow. So next podcast, we can get all synced up and we can all rock that and support our guy, it's
Yeah.
TY. I'll put his link to his Instagram in the
Yeah.
description.
Shout out to T. Shout out to
And
T.
I'll put a link to everything else that he wants me to because I'm promoting the fuck out of his shit. 'Cause
Get you
Yeah.
about 20 of them bitches.
stuff is
Yeah,
really
man.
dope.
Buy that man stuff, bro. Buy that man stuff.
Red Sage merch
Good.
coming soon.
Good,
But, you know, on a few of the last episodes, we've been asking y'all to send us emails at Red Sage Podcast 123
At
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com. That's
Yep.
REDSAGEPODCAST 123 at gmail.com.
That's a lot of EEs.
Hey,
Shit, yeah.
you know, it is what it is. So we're going to get to a few of them things today.
Yeah.
Feel
For
free to
sure.
leave questions in the comments too. You know.
See,
So I have them open, and I guess a good place to start is something that's all relatable to all three of us. Why do you guys watch anime, and why did you choose to watch it?
Well, I know for me, I didn't know what I was watching was anime until like I got to college. Really? Well, no, I'm lying. When I was in high school, I figured out it was anime, but I didn't know like how much of an influence it had on me until like college because like I met like a whole little community. You heard me? Of people who like anime. Now, of course, you run across them people who be like, you know, oh, that's cartoons. You this is that. You childish for still watching cartoons when these
Pish
hoes
posh.
be, yeah, all that bullshit. But man, the reason I got into it was just because I mean, fuck, man, what American cartoon you got that motherfuckers shooting beams at each other
Exactly.
and trying to blow up planets and going through like ridiculous situations or you know having like real deal character development. You know, I
It's the
mean,
best part.
and that. I mean, it just stuck with me, you know. Like that's my version of sports. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I want to see who, goddamn, how Gon gonna get out of this situation with the goddamn Chimera Ants. How Goku is gonna defeat Frieza, OG Dragon Ball Z shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? How Naruto is gonna defeat Pain. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff I was legit excited to see.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's
Shoot.
just for me though.
I'll take the reins next. So, why I started watching anime? I guess everybody here watches Cartoon Network, and that's where ultimately we all watch Dragon Ball Z
Tsunami.
and you know So we all I started watching that when I was small. I think I was like 9, 10. And that was like my favorite thing to do during every week is come home from school, get my homework done, start watching Dragon Ball Z when Toonami came on. Like that was like my main goal in life for like a real long time. Why? I don't know, but I just felt there was more of a connection from me watching cartoons or watching Disney shows. Like anime really connected with me emotionally. Like I like when I have a really good connection with the main character and I can feel what he's going through. I can feel his struggle and I can feel him, persevere and strive towards his goals. And I love character development. Character development and plot is like all I really look for in like shonen. So it's just I feel it more than just regular cartoons and shows and stuff. And I think it's more adult than people think.
Exactly.
When people really haven't seen the gory, bloody stuff like Gantz, like just Attack on Titan, or anything that's like a more adult type of show. Yeah. I really fuck with it because I like the blood and violence. So
Goblin Hunter, Berserker.
Yeah,
Berserk for sure.
Berserk for sure. That's not for kids. You have to be psychologically intact to finish that.
To be honest, I don't really know. Like, I'm picking up good over there. I don't really know the why. I never really thought about the why, but I was sitting here thinking about it, and like I kind of understand the how because I keep hearing y'all make references to the difference between cartoons and anime, and I never really made the difference. So like, I was introduced to anime real young by my pops, but he didn't. It was like he showed me Ninja Scrolls. He didn't sit down and say, "Hey, this is Ninja Scroll. This is an anime." We was just watching it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it was just a cartoon like something else. And I've drawn in majority of my life, so I used to want to draw cartoons, and like I try to draw certain cartoons, but I guess I was trying to get more towards a realistic look, and I guess anime was as close to realistic cartoon, and I know that sounds crazy, but anime is as close to realistic cartoon as I could get visually. So like when I would see Dragon Ball Z and like, you know what I mean, Goku bust through the shirt with the muscles, or he get his shirt blew off or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like you'd see a deltoid and a you know what I'm saying. You'd see a trap. You know what I mean. You see the pec minor and you see musculature, very basic musculature. But at the time, I felt like that's what I was trying to get closer to because it was better than what I was, the level that I was at. So I just started watching other things that looked like Dragon Ball Z, and it kind of translated into me watching anime because I like the art style and I was already into cartoons. Even going into college, I still was watching cartoons. Like that was never a stigma of mine. Like, if you don't like cartoons, cool, but I'm not gonna feel no type of way because you know what I mean. I like them shits, right. But I never thought about the why though. I guess it's all kind of interconnected. A combination of the art style and just naturally being into animation in general.
I think like I agree with both of y'all points. I mean, like definitely I connected with anime emotionally, and I definitely like the visual aspects of it. You know, like I remember, I want to say the first anime that like legit brought a tear to my eye had to be like, and what made me think of it is because I see the Tokyo Ghoul pop right there with Rias. Is that Rias? I can't tell. I mean, I see her face right there. That's Rias. All right. When what is his name? I can't think of his name. Kakuji. That's his name. He was carrying his best friend at the end.
I never know how to pronounce these names.
The one-eyed ghoul.
Kaneki?
That's how you say it?
Like you talking about the main character? Yeah.
Kaneki? Okay.
That train disrespectful, ain't it?
Kaneki. Yeah, it is disrespectful.
Sorry about that train in the background. Yeah, we're trying to.
Yeah, that train kind of coming through right now.
Yeah.
Jigga train coming through. Jigga train coming through.
Yeah. But when Kaneki, I guess I'm gonna call him One-Eyed Ghoul. When the One-Eyed Ghoul was carrying his best friend, and you just hear the music too always caught me. Yeah. So the music just be like,
music is important in anime,
and it just made me feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like it just like, damn, like you've been fighting so hard to not eat this motherfucker, to protecting like the whole human race, and to try to bring ghouls and humans together because you see both sides, and your friend died, or is presumed dead. I mean, I don't know if he died.
Well, if you get more into the manga, you actually see what actually happened, and it was.
I see it happening. Before we do it, that was one email, y'all. Thank you to the sender for the email, but that was one email. We got a lot of these things to go through.
All right,
I saw it happen.
We'll get to that next, but
we do appreciate these emails,
what
though.
actually
It's
happened
just
in that
what I'm
scenario.
saying.
Big bet.
All right, so next question: what's your favorite '90s jam?
I just
What genre of music?
Any?
Favorite '90s jam, fam. Let me think about it.
Oh, shit.
I ain't got
I'll
mine
back
yet.
that ass up. Because I done had that ass backed up on me just to
Man, look, man. I think that's like a cheat code because they was doing it for the 99 and the 2000. You heard me?
Hey, look, that song, like you get dun. Like if you was on the wall, you got it. Like if you worth anything, goddamn, you better pull your pants up, get on that, look for something.
Doesn't matter how you look, you have to grab the
gotta
nearest
grab
in the vicinity.
Yeah, just grab it, put it
Learn how
on,
to pop it.
See what happened, goddamn.
I think I know, but I gotta check the name. So you got yours, Tristan?
I know how to recite the chorus, but I don't actually know the name. It's just something that I always heard inside of my household. Like, you know what? I'm gonna save that one because I'm gonna sound real stupid even trying to attempt
Speak
to
your
sing
truth,
this shit.
King. Be you.
I need to research. It was like, fuck, how'd it go? I think it was a DMX song.
What they bitches wrong for my nigga?
No, it was a mystical song. The man right here, the man right here, the man right here.
Son, you just brought back some. See, I thought I had my song, and now you just brought up like 3 songs because this is a mystical song that I love called "That's the Nigga."
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever heard it before,
bruh.
boy. That nigga,
That nigga used to be huge back
Turn
in the
your
day.
head towards your ass and say bye bye from the south side. The south side.
I haven't really listened to this.
It's nothing but the fire, yeah. It drum champion, your chief. I busted to the day I die. Say yeah, like bitch, I been walking on your grave singing ain't like my. I'm throwed out. I'm 2 scoops from Cuckoo. That used to go hard, bro. Mystical. That's the name of the song. Is That's the Nigga. So, but that is a good one. But the one that comes to mind, bro, immediately was the self-entitled track off the ATLiens album. It's the name of the song is ATLiens. Big Boy come on that bit, man. He say, well, it's the M.I. crooked letter. Ain't no one better. And when I'm on the microphone, you best to wear your sweater, cause I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenail. Oh, hell, there you go again, talking that shit. Been corners like I was a curve. I struck a nerve, and now you about to see a southern player swerve. I heard it's not where you from, but where you pay rent.
It's heating up.
It's not what you make, but how much you spent. You
Yeah.
got me bent like elbows, amongst other things, but I'm not worried. Like, I know it by heart because, bro, the first time I heard this shit, I was like, man, he like saying a poem over an instrumental. Like, this shit is lit. You know what I'm saying? So I think if it inspired me to start writing poetry, I would have to say that that's my best favorite 90s song. Son.
Okay, that's tough.
But I also like Murder
tough.
by UGK.
All right.
I didn't know that.
I'm still Pimp C, bitch. So what the fuck is up?
So
Putting
shit.
powder
I
on the
didn't know
street
that
cause
was
I got. I ain't about to do it.
I didn't know that Colder Than a Polar Bear's Toenail was in the 90s. I thought that was some recent shit.
Nah, Big Boy said that shit for. That was the first time I couldn't think of something colder than a polar bear. I was like, this nigga's incredible.
Yeah, that
Let
shit
me
crazy.
check.
That shit crazy.
When did ATLiens come out?
Hey, talk real quick.
Yo, this your boy Stevie
All
Baby.
right, all right, cool. Yeah, your shit is jumping. All right, next
That's in
next
96.
question.
It jumped.
What were you like in high school?
Bro, these email questions, eh?
Hey, y'all personal.
Yeah.
What were we like in high school?
Yeah, what were we
How
like
would-
in high school?
I don't know if that's a fair question. Like, how would we know how we was like in high school? We was being like us. Like, we was. You know
Nah,
what I'm saying?
I definitely changed for sure.
I changed a little.
I don't think anybody that knew me in high school would think I would have dreads with dyed hair at all.
People would probably
I'm pretty
call-
sure people wasn't surprised when I dyed my shit.
People, People probably would have called me a little lame or whatever, but I mean,
Yeah.
I was still getting ass, so I didn't feel like I was that lame.
I wasn't. I definitely did not partake in any of those actions in high school.
What?
I was still clapping.
I lost
cheeks.
my virginity at 11.
Oh well.
It, not on purpose. Like, it,
Oh.
well,
I
not
mean-
like that.
Okay. Let's.
not like that.
That's a hot topic.
I didn't know that she was about to do what she was about to do,
Oh.
but she knew what she wanted and she got it.
Hey.
Was it? I don't think she ain't take it. I just didn't know that it was.
You were 11.
Look,
How
she
old?
was 11.
Oh.
Oh well, yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
we was
fair.
classmates.
That's
I
fair.
had walked her home because it was raining, and then like we ain't even got to
Yeah,
do all
we
that.
gotta do it.
What's the next question?
High school,
So-
well, in high school, I think I was a lot quieter. I mean, I didn't know myself as much.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think I was caught in that stage of trying to be other things that I probably wasn't. But I mean, in reality,
Jodisha just asked what I'm doing. I'm sniping her to show that I ain't
yeah,
cheating.
we shooting a podcast, Jodisha.
I'm faithful. I don't do nothing I ain't supposed to.
But
Black men don't cheat.
yeah.
It's a plug.
I mean,
So-
I mean, you know, I'm just like any kid, just trying to find yourself. You know, I
Yeah.
went through the sagging thing. That wasn't for me. That shit was whack. But
Oh, y'all mean like that?
yeah,
Okay,
I'm guessing.
okay,
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
just developing as a person. Really, I mean, it wasn't nothing abnormal about me. I mean, I liked anime. I knew I liked sports. There's some core values that I just haven't changed. But I
Okay.
mean, as far as figuring out who I was, it was mostly just learning not to care about what people think of you. You know, and
Oh,
just,
you knew who you was in high school?
oh hell no! I mean, this is me finding myself.
Oh,
I'm saying I was finding myself in.
You man, that's
no,
dope.
I
Because
ain't know who
Like
the fuck
knowing
I
who you
was.
are.
when I met Steve, he seemed like he had a good sense of self. But I definitely was. What is it? My turn? I don't want to be rude.
If you
Shit,
wanna go.
I mean, you can go and then I'll go because I know you didn't get the concept of the question, so you could fill that in.
Well, like high school is like what age is that? 13 to
13
14,
to
14 to 18?
18,
14 to 18.
18.
So like in high school, like I had a job at a bakery making sweet potato pies, and like I was in the newspaper. I was out there every day after school, and I played football. I was captain and commander of ROTC, color guard, and drill team. Like I was in an organization called the Educated Young Males Against Drugs and Violence with my homeboy London. You know what I mean? We used to do community
Shout out
stuff,
London.
marches in the community, feed the community. Shout out the house, you know. But I think I was looking for structure. So like I joined ROTC my freshman year, and like I said, I was on the football team and stuff like that too. So I was looking for like a father figure because me and my father cool. We got a real good relationship, but he left when I was 4, so he wasn't in the crib. You know what I'm saying? I see him like once or twice a year, sometimes three or four times a year. But like we always been cool. He just wasn't there. So like I would look for sources of the like that mentorship, and like Sergeant Gibson, Michael Gibson was one of my mentors in the RTC. Still a good mentor to me to this day. Like real talk, that's like my second pops. I guess in high school, like I was trying to not be a bad person. Like I was working on more than I was trying to like mess with girls and good grades in school. Like I had a real negative self-image, and I was trying to do things that in my mind would make me not a bad person at that time. I don't know if it was constructive or destructive, but I definitely was trying to figure out who I was as a young man.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It was scary.
For me, I guess my situation in high school went back to, and this might sound really stereotypical, but like I was kind of the bridge between the popular sports kids. Damn. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
It's all good. I was like the bridge between the popular sports kids and the complete nerds. Like I fuck with both, cause I was tall and I was on the basketball team, but like all my real niggas was like the niggas that were kind of socially inexperienced and just awkward, but they were always being 100% their selves, which like I really love that shit. Like they came to school bringing like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and shit, and like niggas would make fun of them like, hey, I got my deck right here though, like trying to fucking slang right now.
Right.
But
Niggas still playing with Beyblades. And
yeah,
everything.
I was way
Shout out to
way
Zay
more
Wallace.
awkward and shit too. I was just like just corny, awkward, lame, all that. But I kind of got away with more shit because I was tall, so I don't know.
Bro, that's a good question because honestly, a lot of stuff happened in high school. Like I was paying bills in high school already. I had jobs. I was doing other things to make money. I had like multiple girlfriends. It wasn't like a good thing. I just didn't understand the concept of like what a successful relationship should look like.
I had one.
Bruh, like high school was crazy. My uncle was working for me at one point when I was in high school. I was doing so good, and that nigga stole from me. Like,
Damn. Oh
all kind
man.
of shit, man. I had a 25-year-old girlfriend and didn't realize at the time that like she was kind of weird for fucking with a 16-year-old. But I thought it
Yeah.
was cool.
That is kind of weird.
crazy.
It's not kind of weird. That's mad weird, but
I know you talking about.
I know you.
Shout out.
Don't say that name.
I just said shout out. You a
Oh
cool person.
man, bro. High school was fun though. We're gonna talk about high school, dog. One of these days.
yeah.
High school was pretty lit.
How many questions y'all would do? Because I feel like these
Let's do,
questions
like-
will mess around and be an episode. Keep sending these questions because we're going to get to them all.
I think that we'll do like 2 more
Yeah,
because there's like a
alright,
lot of
we'll do 2
them.
more.
I gotta fucking surf through and,
Nice,
and
two
like
good ones.
some of them is like kind of wild too. Like if y'all trying to get on the wild side, I could.
Yeah, give me some wild shit, son. Give me some wild
And
shit.
if
Alright.
you guys want us to like shout you out personally, like by saying your name, just say it in the email because we have your name, of course, or the name of the email address that you sent the message from. But we don't want to just say people's name if they don't want their name out there. But if you do, include it and we'll shout you out.
Dungeon
Like,
Slave Master 69 at gmail.com.
that's Tristan person.
Gotta be.
I hope
It's,
he's not in a dungeon. Like
that nigga in some
It,
BSM.
it might be a throwaway email that nobody would think is
That's
me.
that porn.
Read
That's that
that
porn.
man.
That's that Pornhub.
I
Log in.
want to read all of it.
Brazzle's account.
Okay.
All right, so if y'all trying to get on the wild side, we have one right
Get
here.
us some wild shit. Get us
How
some
many
wild
bodies do you guys have?
I ain't never killed nobody.
shit. Ain't no,
Yeah, I have 0 bodies because I never killed anybody. So
I ain't never killed nobody.
shit. Nope.
Okay.
I know what y'all mean, but nope.
Next question.
Oh y'all talking bodies. Man.
This nigga right here.
Oh y'all don't want. We can go to the next one, but
I ain't about to disclose nothing.
hey, I'm a.
You know what? After
Yeah.
our
ain't-
recent, let's
I ain't
let's
about to
give.
disclose
We
nothing.
killed no one. Trust that. We're very
Yeah, that was the
docile.
context of the question. You better be specific.
Yeah, you better
We ain't
be
telling
mad
on ourselves.
specific.
Ain't no 6ix9ine up here. We ain't telling on nobody,
We ain't snitching.
especially not ourselves.
Fuck all that.
I ain't killed no one. Next question.
Okay, what do you work towards in your free time, like personal endeavors? Because I know we be doing this, we be on this shit hard, but
What
you know?
else we do? Well, I mean, for y'all that don't know, I'm a counselor. I mean, I'm a mental health professional. That's what they call me, at least. I do that. Working towards another business.
In your free time, Steve, not like your business goes, Nick. Like what you do
fuck,
for?
I play video games. Nigga, watch anime. Shit.
Like you just been telling you, I have investments in stocks.
this
right
nigga about to
I
give
don't
up the
have-
whole
I
dossier.
don't-
Like,
Shit, no, nigga. I watch anime, nigga. I watch
Yeah.
anime and play video games. And
Well, of course,
YouTube
you do work
videos.
towards your personal goals too.
thought
I'm
you
just
said,
like,
what they know that?
what you do in your free time, huh?
Oh, what
Yeah.
do you work towards? I guess work.
yeah,
got me
what do you
confused.
work towards in your free
Oh, what do
time?
you work towards? I misunderstood the question again.
Oh,
My
well, then
bad.
shit.
Yeah, it said work. Yeah. I mean, shit. I just want to be a successful business owner. That's all. You know,
That's a lot. Goddamn.
it
Yeah.
is. It's a lot. It's a lot to do.
A
It's a lot.
single goal, but a lot entails.
Yeah.
For sure. I think what I work towards in my free time, I have a lot of computer and tech stuff, and I'm really deep into building PCs, and I go to school for IT, networking, cloud computing, and blah blah blah. But like what I really focus on is like PC gaming and Twitch and stuff like that. That's what I'm
Dope.
what I'm actually working towards to get my Twitch popping again, because I really love gaming.
Like this shit.
Oh shit. Well, my Twitch is, twitch.com/TristianPG. That's TrischinPG.
In that thing.
in that thing, and I'll hopefully start streaming again and very, very quickly because tomorrow I'm actually getting a new computer.
Ooh, the
flex
dopeness.
on that.
I already
Flex
know what
on
time it
that.
is.
So, and that shit influences everything. Like, with that, we gotta have some more top tier editing, make this look much more
Yeah,
dope,
tell
much more
me.
fluid.
Yeah.
Have
And more
all that's more consistent, more fluent.
Y'all
more
notice we ain't never
everything.
gave y'all no like drop date as far as when we gonna be putting out episodes. We getting them together and out
Yeah,
as
we
best as we
are.
can. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean? But trying to maintain that level of quality.
It's a little
And increase
it's little
it as
kinks
well.
and stuff. But yeah.
Okay, well, what I'm working on is a lot less. Well, actually, working towards is a lot less business minded than you guys. To be honest, I'm working on spending more time. I equate positivity with growth. So my mission is always and will always be to impact as many people as I can that I come in contact with in as positively of a way as possible. But the way that I do that is through creation. So my relationships with my family, friends, y'all, you know what I mean? I've been actively working towards communicating better, spending more time actively like engaging in the relationships, like with my girl, with my mother, my aunties, my siblings, and putting tangible medium to canvas, like recording episodes, actually painting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Writing down ideas and following through with them. Like I've been putting a lot more of my energy in towards increasing the quality of life that I have through actively engaging with the things that I love.
Okay, that's dope.
That's dope. I like that answer.
Yeah, that's
Being
dope.
all
Got one more.
holistic and shit.
Y'all have been making money. Like I feel like I need to get my shit together. I'm like, damn,
Man, pitch
I'm just
posh.
trying to enjoy my
Hey,
family.
It's all about happiness, nigga.
flexing with bands and shit. Just
Fucking-
drop a brick and be like, yeah, nigga, happy.
All right, last
I ain't got no
question.
fucking band.
Who will win in a fight between Spider-Man and Batman?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
What the fuck are you even talking about? He can
Wait,
bench press a house.
Do Batman have any prep time?
See, that's what I was getting to. That's what I was
He
getting
got
to.
prep time. I feel like you got him.
It's a double-edged
You
sword.
did not just ask
It's
us
a loaded question.
who would win if
But-
Spider-Man and Batman had prep time, because it's unfair to just give Batman prep time. Shouldn't
You're right.
Spider-Man know he's coming into a fight too? Spider-Man fucking wins with equal prep time. He's a genius.
Batman has more money and
Nope.
influence
Resources.
and way more resources.
What
and
Batman we
has
talking about? Because
Batman
Peter Parker
comparable
eventually
smarts, too.
owns the industry, does he not?
Okay, so then it's
Stark's
like which
industry.
Spider-Man are we talking about too?
Exactly. So let's
are we
qualify
talking
some
about
shit.
Peter Parker? Are we
Yeah,
talking
shit.
about Flash Thompson? Like which one are we talking about?
Nah, well then you gonna have
We
to
talking
get the-
about Superior Spider-Man. Doc
Oh,
Ock in this
that's-
bitch and Peter Parker body, nigga. Now what?
Man, nigga,
I
I
still
mean,
feel like Batman got him. Son. Batman gonna come up in that bitch with a whole suit.
bro, he's
A whole
gonna have
suit.
a whole
Specifically-
anti-web suit, anti-everything suit, and
Okay.
he's just gonna have like a
So-
bag of kryptonite
bag
just
of
to
bullets.
just to be ready
bag
if like
full of
Superman
everything.
comes through.
So is Batman a genius in every canonical version of himself? Is he perfect? Does he have flaws? Does he need a bigger support system than Spider-Man needs? Qualifying that,
Yeah.
does he
I
make
would say
this
yeah.
shit himself? Because if they have the
think he
same
do.
amount of prep time, no, he don't.
Lucius,
Fox do.
Lucius, yeah.
If they have the same amount of time, Lucius Fox, what are you talking about?
That's why I said no. I agree with you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
no, he
yeah.
don't. I said no, he don't make it.
But
That nigga
if
make
they
it.
have the same amount of prep time, Spider-Man has less resources, but the resources, because I qualified my Spider-Man. Y'all still ain't picked the Batman yet, but the Spider-Man that I
Every
picked
Batman.
is superior. You can't do that. You have
every
to pick
Batman,
one.
No, every Batman. beats
He
Batman.
okay, you can say that, and he'll lose if we run it in
talking
the
about?
simulator. He'll lose more times than not
Which
if you
one-
pick
which-
every Batman.
Well,
There's
I
a
feel like-
specific Batman that's undefeatable, but I'm not gonna fucking put it out there right now.
If you watch
talking
DBX game battles, it's like this channel that puts up different characters from different anime shows, comics. There was
Death Battle?
there was a death battle where they put up Spider-Man against Batman, and Batman won.
I thought Spider-Man
That's their
won.
opinion.
I think Spider-Man won that one.
I didn't
because
see it.
Spider-Man like is just stronger than Batman.
How many times did they
it's-
Let me
run it.
let me
but
finish
it's-
qualifying my
it's
point. Though.
Spider-Man,
Hold
it's
on.
Spider-Man like no prep time. No
But
prep time.
before we get
Spider-Man
to
whooped
plugging
their ass.
Yeah,
other
for sure.
channels and giving them support, let me finish qualifying my Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because if they Doc Ock in Peter Parker's body, Superior Spider-Man, that's a real character. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Doc Ock smart as a bitch. Y'all know this.
Okay.
Peter Parker's body is impeccable. You know this.
Okay.
At this point, he owns somebody corporation. The nigga got money, he got resources to make shit, and he making it at the pace of a Spider-Man versus Batman, who has whatever amount of resources he has and whatever time frame he has, because y'all still ain't qualified to Batman. In his shit, he'll make things probably higher quality, but it'll take more time. So what can he make in comparison to what Doc Ock and Peter Parker's body, with the amount of resources that he has, will be able to make with the same amount of time, that will be so superior that it disqualifies anything that Spider-Man can make? Because that's one variable there is a Batman who has the ability to make unlimited resources and the ability to make anything he can imagine. However, you haven't qualified him, so I'm not gonna pick it for you. So we're not using that one automatically. And Doc Ock,
I guess he's talking about the Batman with the Green Lantern's ring.
Doc Ock can only no. I'm definitely not, because you
with the
take
white
that ring
man.
off, that's a wrap, or you break his will, that's a wrap. And both things have happened. That ring has been taken off unwillingly,
white
and
Batman.
Batman will has been broken. So that's not a good. Anyway,
I'm
that's
way more
besides
Marvel,
my
so
point.
I'm not even on
Whatever
that side.
technology Batman can make,
I don't even know why
Doc
they still
Ock
argue
can
about
make in the same amount of time. That's what I'm saying. So once we take that out, or even if he does make something better, okay, that's one variable. Every other variable, Spider-Man win, fam. Where is Batman just the best planner in the world? And please don't say
Batman is Jesus.
All right, next
right,
question,
fam.
dude.
I thought that was the last one. We need one more. We can't leave on that
Yeah,
one.
let's go to a more solid question
still
that's
go
kind of
Spider-Man.
subjective.
Spider-Man or Batman too.
Hey, bro.
What's your favorite hip hop
Batman,
and
hold on.
R&B album of all time?
Of all time, John Legend, Get Lifted is my favorite R&B album of all time, because it's the one that inspired me to start singing.
I don't have one.
Mine is Channel Orange by Frank Ocean.
Oh, that's dope. That's a dope one.
What hip hop album? Favorite hip hop album of all time? Got to be AT Aliens, because every time I listen to it, I find something different.
Okay.
Well, anything Drake drop. I don't know.
This nigga.
Damn. Okay.
Hey, I respect your opinion though.
It's-
All right,
it's- it's-
hip
I
hop
like-
album.
I like it.
I'll probably there's so many that I could really qualify for this, but it's off the top. I'll probably just go My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy
No,
by
I
Kanye
take that
West.
back.
Oh my
I
God,
take
bro!
that back. I like Born Sinner.
Can I change my answer?
Mm-hmm.
Born Sinner.
Man, I don't know if my life is the same without Kanye West. My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a dope one. That's a dope one. Playing game. You know what?
Got that pussy real posted. I love
Bro,
that
old
skit.
Kanye was a legend, dog.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I say old Kanye. The man, his old work, but it ain't like his current work isn't as impactful,
Pablo.
because if you think about it, the shit he was doing when we were younger and paying attention to it was new and fresh and engaging naturally, because it was actually new and fresh and engaging. So now, like, the audience, not to say he's not still promoting to us as an audience, but there's a different demographic who's in high school and middle school right now picking up Kanye West for the first time. And the first time they heard Yeezus, they probably was like, I never heard nothing like this before. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's experimental.
As an artist, that man dope.
That's
bro.
what I like. Like, fuck being lyrical, miracle, spiritual. Fuck how long you can rap on a track. Fuck like how many words you can rhyme. Are you bringing me something different every time you drop an album?
Right.
Like, is this not just gonna be like a part 2 of your last album?
Right.
Kanye brought something different every fucking album, and even if people didn't like it, he still molded hip hop every single time he dropped an album.
You know, I have a problem with, like, I agree with all that what you just said, and because I agree with it, and I also know that like Kanye West got a bad stigma right now, I really don't like the fact that you're not allowed to like a person who's done something that the majority of people don't like. Like, even if I'm not allowed to like them, why am I not allowed to like their art? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like people need to stop doing this.
That's not fair.
This great big think tank. Like, stop going with the masses and make your own mind up about.
oh, I still
how
listen
you
to
feel.
all Kanye West.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like I listen to all of.
You still
what
listen to
Kanye-
R. Kelly?
I wouldn't stop if you put it on.
Okay.
like if you put it on, I ain't gonna be like, turn that pedophile off. Y'all acting like y'all ain't know this nigga was a pedophile for
Right.
15 years. Like
Them
y'all,
tapes
so
was
this
out.
shit, so this shit's new to y'all.
I
This
saw
nigga been
them
pissing on kids forever.
I saw the
Yeah.
tapes when it was still actually a tape
I never seen the
in
tape.
one of my family members' house. I ain't gonna put nobody out there, but if you ever hear this, you know you had that damn tape. And you
That's
know what
weird.
it was in?
That's weird.
An anime box.
Ooh.
Which is why a nigga like
Inconspicuous.
me found it. I ain't gonna say nobody name, but you dirty dog. You had the R. Kelly
Let's talk about
VHS.
fetishes, man. What kind of weird
Man,
shit
I
that
thought we
is
had a
to-
docket.
All
That
right, so
nigga
let's
Steve
let's
going-
let's just jump off the emails. Let's just go a hop, skip, and a jump that way.
What kind of shit that is to want to piss on people?
I mean, different people have different kinks, dude. Like
So you ever wanted to get pissed on?
no, but like you have to compare it
So you ain't never wanted
to
get
something
pissed
that you
You ever
deem
been in
normal.
the shower before?
I mean, I don't want a golden shower. Like, I'm straight. I'm straight.
I'm
I
just
mean,
asking
like
questions.
somebody
son.
that's that bitch like, yeah.
Yeah, look,
It's
I didn't need the imagery either.
Fam.
Why? Why are you doing
I don't think
this?
I don't think the him peeing on the girl was the problem. I think the
Like the
problem
girl
was her
being
age.
there. Yeah, the girl being there.
It was
is
just
the
her
fucking
age,
problem.
bro. Like, just don't have sex with people that aren't over the legal age. Like, I don't even see like why that's such a hard rule. Like, there's plenty of like grown ass women that look
I heard
young.
I heard
Like,
in these new sex tapes they got
I'm not watching the news.
I mean I just heard that the motherfucker R. Kelly said he I like this old dick or this 14-year-old pussy is good, huh?
Whoa.
He said that.
I heard I don't know. Cause like I
Damn.
said, I ain't never seen the
Oh,
tape.
man.
But I heard this man say
He in prison, right?
He should be. He should
I don't
stay
think
there.
he gonna. I don't think he getting
So,
out.
yeah, this some good 14-year-old pussy. He's like, yeah, you like this 14-year-old pussy? And it's just
Well, see,
like,
that- and-
whoa.
all right.
Are they
We
like
really about to have this conversation because you know I'm about to say some controversial shit.
You can say it.
Y'all watch the documentary?
Nah, I
No,
didn't watch
I
it.
didn't watch it.
All
It
right.
didn't pique my interest.
Ah man. Okay, I'm gonna have to say this.
The people felt like
So at one part in the documentary, this little girl, mama and daddy went up to the hotel to get her from R. Kelly, and the little girl told the mama and daddy, "Hey, you fucking my money up." So nah, ain't no fucking damn. She was 15, but I'm sitting next to my girlfriend, talking to her about the shit. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I'm sitting next to my girlfriend talking to her about shit. She a female. I want a female perspective. She was like, you know, at that age, she wasn't doing nothing yet, but some of her friends were. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was fucking.
You talking about your girlfriend? Or you talking about the girl?
I'm talking about
documentary?
my girlfriend. Like, I'm watching it with my girlfriend. I don't be watching that with no other bitch. But I'm
was
sitting there
asking
watching it with
for
my
clarification.
girlfriend, and I'm talking to her for a female perspective. And you know, she's like, "Oh, I would." She said she hadn't done anything till she got to college, but some of her friends had already been having sex, and not under the pretense of somebody was manipulating them into sex. Like, they were having sex. They wanted to have sex. And I think back personally, when I was 15, I was also having sex. And I wasn't raping nobody. Everybody I had sex with wanted to have sex with me. So, like, I can understand a 15-year-old girl wanting to have sex. But what do you do when your 15-year-old daughter wants to have sex with a grown man for the same logical reasons that a grown woman would? Because she 15, she know that he want to fuck her because she 15. She know she going to be able to get some money out of this shit, and that's what she want. Like, you get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why whenever we have these conversations like cancel this person, cancel that person, I'm not saying that you shouldn't or you should cancel anybody. Do what you feel. But when it comes to artists like R. Kelly, artists like Kanye West, who we've been listening to their art for the longest, through everything that they've done for the longest. Not to say that traditions can go old and some traditions should change. I'm just saying, at what point do you say, okay, now we are no longer allowed to consume this person's art because of something they did outside of their art? And I know that sounds bad because you can say that the art was influenced by his personal lifestyle. He wrote a bunch of songs about pedophilia if you really pay attention to the lyrics. But I ain't talking about them songs. Like, it sounds stereotypical, but I'm talking about songs like Step in the Name of Love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit, if you don't feel nothing
I like
when you
Trapped
hear
in the
that
Closet.
song. Yeah, I like Trapped in the Closet too, even
I
when it
still
started
watch it.
getting weird. But I understand it. I just don't like it because
I mean, but
The-
even
it's
if you
so-
go,
it's
if-
so dirty.
If you go by that logic, I mean, fuck. Some of the greatest minds in history was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the nigga that cut his ear off? There was
Galileo.
Yeah, I was thinking about Galileo. I just didn't want to say his name.
I
could've
could
been
be
fucked up.
wrong,
But
but I think so.
Glucose.
Edgar Allan Poe was fucking his fucking first cousin, and she
I
was
didn't know
young
that.
as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But people argue like, well, that was back in the times. Yeah, but do it still make it right? I don't know. I mean, I'm not no motherfucking doctor, or I don't have a degree, but I do know that it's easier to manipulate a fucking younger mind than it is an older mind. And your mind is not completely developed until the age of around 21, 25-ish.
To me, it's like they're trying to make it. They're trying to make.
And-
If
growth
we not
and experience
supporting none of this
parallel.
nasty shit either, so don't
It's
try
just-
to.
Yeah,
it's
don't
just-
get the
it's
fuck
just-
out of
it's
with
just
that.
thoughts. Just
just
thoughts.
have
But
a
they're
conversation.
trying to make things more parallel, like us learning about things and instilling cancel culture into the main culture of America and like the whole
I think
world.
they're taking that shit too far.
And
man.
like shit that people did back then that they deem was just okay. Now it's like they're trying to bridge the gap now because we're becoming more accepting of all types of races, genders, blah 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 blah. But it comes with a double-edged sword of like, if we can't accept that shit, this shit can't fly either. But if it's stuff that happened like a long time ago, we can't really say nothing about it. No, cancel that nigga back then too. Like
yeah, like motherfucking all the Greek philosophers was fucking children.
exactly. So
Every last one of them played
If
a role.
you're-
Damn, this shit sound bad.
if you're rolling like that
It's
now,
real, though. I'm just-
like keep shit parallel. Like
I
just
think
My
do what
thing-
y'all trying to do.
My thing is if we're moving along with this culture of acceptance, you know what I'm saying? Shouldn't it also be you should be accepting of other people with different opinions than you? Just because a
be,
motherfucker don't
definitely.
feel the same way that you feel, don't mean that you have to cancel him. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe that art is just not for you. You
I
know?
don't really pay attention to
Like, I
the
don't
cancel
even-
culture shit anyway. But I think my problem comes into play where I think as people we all try to justify whatever our actions are. You know what I'm saying? And I know like for me as a person, what I really feel is I could be listening to sitting in my car listening to a old podcast. I used to listen to a lot of old shit, and I still do. And I'll hear something by somebody who's not culturally accepted anymore, or who was saying something that's not culturally accepted anymore, or quote unquote politically correct, and I have a conflict within myself because I naturally respond positively to this, but I know socially I shouldn't, or I'm not supposed to. So it's a conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to some of Patrice O'Neal old jokes, or you know what I mean, some of the old
Eddie
podcast
Murphy.
material. You could pick anybody. I'm just saying,
Real
like
talk,
when you
yeah.
when you listen to certain things that are from a certain time
along.
and it makes you feel a certain type of way, I don't want to be or think of myself as a bad person because I enjoy content created by somebody who's been labeled a bad person, whether I agree with that label or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's where my dog in this fight comes from. But it's bias. I
For
know
sure,
it is.
it's biased. Well, it's biased, but it's like a healthy bias because you've like during time, like you're gonna adapt to your current mindset and the current culture for what you grew up in.
Right.
That's why it's so hard for older people to understand what we're doing now,
Right.
because we're in different time periods. So if Eddie Murphy dropped
Raw now that
multiple
shit was-
F-bombs and was not okay with transgender people, that should be locked in that time period. Of course, he's not going to think that way now because it's not culturally acceptable.
But he
But
grew.
we're trying to indict him on his character for what he did in the past when
it was.
that wasn't that type of climate.
Right.
I don't think that's right. But it's like you can't account for your own human growth if you can't account for somebody else's.
Right.
It's all a parallel, like
just
y'all
think-
wanted to.
I just think it's disingenuous to want people all to think the same way about the same subject matter. Like, I know we got on the docket to talk about transgenders in
I did
F-
not know that.
in athletics, transgenders in athletes, like transgendered boxers, transgendered MMA fighters.
We about to go into that, nah.
I mean, why not? I mean,
That nigga Steve just took the reins like, yeah.
I mean,
I got to use the bathroom.
Oh, well.
But y'all go ahead and start that. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come in.
Okay.
I gotta use
I'm
the
just
bathroom.
saying.
All right. Well,
I just think it's disingenuous to want everybody to have the same kind of thought process, because I mean, like, what makes you special as a person is the fact that you don't think like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you know it's shitty to be a racist. You know it's shitty to be a sexist. But if I don't like, if I'm willing to listen to somebody that says sex, and I think this says something sexist or say something racist, and I think it's funny, shouldn't I be allowed to think it's funny and not feel that way? Is something wrong with that?
if you think something's hilarious and your humor, like your humor doesn't directly correlate to your way of thinking,
Right.
because like me, I could joke with a few friends saying extremely racist things, but it's because I think it's funny that people still think that way in this day and age. Like,
Right.
that shit's hilarious to me that people can actually
It's
be
a parody.
racist. Yeah, it's just a parody.
It's a parody of itself.
Exactly. So, but then like if somebody hears me joking with a personal friend like that, they're gonna think either he's racist or I'm racist or like blah blah blah. We're like, no, like I'm very well versed and I have a lot of knowledge on the current climate and what's right and wrong, and I follow that strictly. It's just people who don't, that still subscribe to an older way of thinking. It's hilarious to me.
But that's okay if you do. Like, it's okay if you're a racist. I mean, you're still a shitty person.
Yeah.
You're still somebody I would not personally want to be around. But that way of thinking, like, it should be legal. Like, it's like, I'm not gonna shoot you over it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's to a certain extent, because if you support the Ku Klux Klan, like, that's kind of an endangerment to my life, because that's a.
But I'm not talking about people that like want to go out there and commit acts of hate.
Well,
but
it's a very short jump from point A to point B.
But I mean,
So-
but freedom of thought, like, you still have your, like, if I just like you have the right to say I hate niggers and I hate this.
Yeah.
I have the right to say fuck you, you a piece of shit asshole. But I don't. But soon as somebody take that next step to violence, which I understand, like, why we don't want that conversation, because I mean, it's so easy to take it from words to action. I understand that, but at the same time, I mean, if you start censoring that, then what else are you gonna censor? Like, I feel like it's gonna be a domino effect.
Fahrenheit 451.
I don't know what that means.
That's okay. Burning books.
Burning books. Oh, you talking about like,
Yeah, like burning books that have history, knowledge of a
Yeah.
certain time
We
period.
still talking about.
Well, we kind of
jumped from it.
jumped a
Where we
little
on
bit.
Back in this thing.
Racism and
Racism and
acceptance of
freedom of
census-
speech.
People trying to censor
What about
people.
racism, fam? Who did it?
No, nobody did it. I was just saying that I feel like, I mean,
Well, you don't got to repeat yourself. The people heard you. I just,
oh well, I mean, like, just basically freedom of speech.
Yeah, that shit is important, regardless of your race, religion, or creed, or sexuality.
Or what
I
you
don't
say.
think it really matters.
Like,
Like,
Well,
it's just a
let me not say that.
platform.
It matters if it matters
oh,
to
it
you.
matters.
Yeah, of course. Because
matters what you say.
we want to personally empower every single person's voice, but once they start speaking it, they want
I don't have
to
to agree with
mediate it.
You
Yeah.
gotta take,
It's like a vicious cycle
Bro, you gotta
that we
take-
don't know what we're
you
doing.
gotta take responsibility for your words.
Oh yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say we know what we're doing. People just not taking personal accountability, like we had
No,
on the Point of
but
Pistols episode. we
Everybody
took-
else wants to though. Like they want to like mediate every single statement that a person says.
But when we
forgetting that
say
we're freedom of
everybody
speech.
else, who is that everybody? Because we got to be specific.
Cancel
we can't-
culture.
Okay.
Like,
Twitter.
Like, it could be controversial.
Twitter fake though. Like
It is.
It could be controversial to say, like, the transgender argument. Like, I don't feel like people who used to be a grown man, should fight with women. I don't feel like that should happen. I don't feel like that should be legal.
where was the segue? Like I went to the bathroom and just came
I
back.
used the segue earlier. We didn't use it because you went to the bathroom. So now I'm just jumping up in that thing.
All right.
Don't feel like if you're a man.
Segway King here, folks.
If you used to be a man and you want to compete in I guess what you say, like, fighting sports, the martial arts,
Mixed martial arts.
I don't feel like you should do it against cis women, because you could probably dominate them.
So who did that? Like, why is that a
Cyborg.
topic of conversation?
Cyborg?
Cyborg is a woman, ain't it?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, now I guess, but it was born a man.
Oh, we doing that.
Oh, I didn't know that she
Yeah.
was transgender.
Yeah.
I
Me
didn't know that.
neither. You serious?
Are you serious?
You lying?
Let's look it up.
What? Google.
Hold up.
Google's another one.
I got Google. Goddamn
Shoot. Man,
Listen.
you put me on game right now.
it, man. So, what has been the outcome of her fights? I can't even.
Whooping ass.
I know who the I know who the person is. I've heard the name. I've seen her face to match the name to her face, but I haven't seen any bouts or any battles, and I know very little of the person other than a lot of people use her as the example of a lot of topics of conversation around this thing. But I had no idea that. I still don't have an idea of whether or not I thought she was a cisgendered woman, if that's the proper term.
Tristan looking it up right now.
So what are the rules? Like, is
That shouldn't be allowed. I mean,
Nah, they're saying that she was born a woman.
that's what I thought, Steve. You just out just saying shit, man. You
no,
can't.
that's why he said look it up.
You know, you gotta look it up before you say it, cause now
I didn't think that she was.
me neither. I'm glad I'm on record saying that. God,
But there that was kind of wild.
There's somebody else there. Hello.
Look, man, don't be like us. Don't be like us. Research your topics.
What?
Research your topics.
Why did you say that? Like,
Well, I say what? I was wrong. That's why I asked for said pull it up.
but why would you even like?
It's okay. We'll definitely save face. But
I wanted to say, well, why would you say that? Like, what made you say it? But I know
thought
what
was
made
a
you.
man. I thought it was a man. I thought it was a man. God damn it.
Cut this shit out, flag.
oh
Fucking
my
flag. The whole last.
god. Damn it.
Bruh, Tristan, please tell me like there's an actual transgender like subject or story
Yes.
along with this philosophy. 'Cause
Yes.
Steve just threw some
Hold
shit
on.
out there.
There's-
Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
My nigga Steve trying to take us to the next level.
He trying, boy. I don't think I'm ready, boy. I don't think I'm ready. But he taking me there.
I'm about to go there. Why
Man, save him, please. Give me some facts.
There has been other transgender women
Okay, what happened?
that have been dominating in Olympic sports
Okay.
as of late when they're Olympic track runners, they're mixed martial arts fighters,
Oh man.
and what have you and whatnot. And they're saying that they have a genetic advantage because they were originally a man. And
Oh,
People
name,
are
her
taking-
name is Fallen Fox. My bad.
Hey, don't feel bad because
I'm just saying, like, my bad. I got the wrong woman.
I'm just saying what I'm about to say. I might be in the same boat because, from my understanding, shit. Okay.
we're here with you, brother.
From my understanding, gender, sex, whatever you want to call it, what the difference between a man or a woman is determined at birth, by doctors, I guess, based upon the sexual reproduction organ that you have.
Look up Fallen Fox.
I can't have this conversation by myself.
I'm
I don't
listening
need
to
you
you.
to try to show me another woman who's transgender or whatever you just tried to do, because it ain't
What's wrong with what I did? I called the
Nothing.
wrong name.
You called a natural born woman a transgender woman, a famous one.
Oh, well, my bad. Famous transgendered woman.
She not transgender though.
It was a mistake.
Cool. What I'm saying
So
is
this is what I'm saying. Like, you're not allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed. Like, okay, I called the wrong one.
I guess this
My
really
but she's not a one at all. Not a wrong like
The wrong woman. I call out the wrong name. Cool.
but
My bad.
that's not a thing though. Like
I can't call out the wrong name. I can't.
Yeah,
I
but-
can't make a mistake.
okay,
I'm
see,
a human.
minimalization is something that a lot of small or subdivisions of cultures have problems with, especially about these alphabet people, because there are differences between these groups or these different letters. Like there's a difference between gay and queer and bi and all of the transgender. Like this lady may fall into one of these categories, and it may be offensive to her for you to just assume she's transgender.
And I'm sorry.
Based on the way that she looks. Like that's a lot of these people's plights, is that regardless of how I look to you, I define myself this way. Which is, I was making light of the situation like it's funny, but that's actually what these people are fighting for. Not be minimalized. Like whatever, I just said the wrong thing.
I did say the wrong thing. It was the wrong.
And it's
the wrong
funny.
Point. Okay.
So I was laughing.
Okay. I mean, that's cool, but I mean, there is a true transgender fighter who was fighting women, which was the point I was making. I just called out the no name. I'm sorry, Chris Cyborg, for misrepresenting you. But I was just trying to get to that point. That's all. I mean, I wasn't trying to say she looked transgender. I just called out the wrong name. And I'm sorry, and I apologize for that. Cool. I wasn't trying to minimize their struggle, because I'm for them. I hope they get all the rights. They deserve everything that they want to get. I just don't think they should fight in the same arena as people who was born naturally a woman.
That's big of you to say. On some shit. I mean, I'm not part of the community, so I can't personally thank you for it, but I'm sure
they have a problem with me. I'm pretty sure somebody will tell
you know
me.
what I'm saying? I'm sure you genuinely meant that, and it genuinely was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was just my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't try to.
I was making a point.
Sorry,
but
back to your
I don't remember what it was.
It's okay. It's definitely okay. We can.
I do remember what it was.
We definitely skip the topic too.
So you brought us here. We're having this conversation.
Okay. Well,
to me, to my understanding, not the definition. Gender is assigned to people after birth by a doctor, depending on their sexual reproductive organs. That's my level of understanding of gender. To my understanding, gender identification and I guess what you would call sexual orientation are separate things. So I don't know that the rules of the UFC say that cisgendered male or transgender woman, I think is the appropriate term, can't fight against cisgendered women or vice versa. Like I don't know if there's any rules that explicitly states that, and I don't necessarily believe, but I don't believe, but also don't know whether or not a woman would have a advantage over a man if they're the same weight, same height, because things like training come into play, things like conditioning come into play. Like at that point, it's a person against a person, unless the rules say otherwise or the science say otherwise. But I don't know. So to me, unless there's like something that you can show that would say it's so unfair that it shouldn't be a possibility, is like people make the rules. Like, you know what I'm saying? Men and women wrote the rules of the UFC. So if they agree to these rules, then that's the rules.
My thing is now you could look this up. Men have quick, like we develop like quicker
twitch muscle.
Yeah, faster twitch muscles. So like that point millisecond makes a difference in a fight. Like heavier bone density. Like,
I don't know that to be like. I do know what fast twitch muscle is, but I don't know that men develop it faster or slower than women.
You could look it up.
I think I heard something. I was listening to something. It was probably like 6 months ago, and I don't know where I recalled it from, but they said something about transgender women could have higher bone density than original males due to the stuff that they take. Transitioning affects their bone density, making it even more dense.
Well, shit, that still makes it bad, don't you think?
No,
because I mean, if you're transitioning,
how does bone density translate into superiority?
How the bone density translate? You hit harder.
I don't think that's like. I say, I don't know, so I don't have the science to support my opinion, but my opinion is based on the relative facts that I do know. I don't see how having denser bones would be an advantage in any way. I feel like if anything, it'd be a hindrance. Because human bodies are made for homeostasis. It's made to be a certain way and stay within a certain realm of things. If you have more or less than anything than you need, you normally have a problem.
Think about density. When something's more dense, it's harder to break.
I know exactly what density is, but
Well,
think
I'm
about
not-
bones.
I'm not
If bones
talking
are
about
too
that.
dense, they don't function properly.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's too dense. What I'm saying is a denser bone is harder to break, which means that it's easier to break somebody with less dense bone. So if somebody
Okay.
putting more force on you, which is like submission locks, it can easily dislodge. Not easy, but it's easier to dislodge. I'm not saying that it's impossible to beat these people. You know,
But my problem with that observation is how does that translate into a superiority? Because just because you know,
yeah, I'm
you
saying
can
it's an
be-
advantage. I'm not saying it's superior. I say
But
it's an
every
advantage.
fight has advantages and disadvantages. You know, in every fight, they're not always the exact same height. Sometimes somebody has 2 inches more reach than the other person. So that's not even how these fights work anyway. They don't put a person with equal bone density and strength level and conditioning against each other. It's just two motherfuckers within the same weight and height.
Yeah, but I mean, still, there's still parameters to make sure that's the same. It's a fair fight, and if you're taking
But those
injections,
parameters
or
are
you
just
take-
weights.
But what I'm
and
saying
fucking height,
is
though.
that what you're taking, like if you have a naturally longer reach than me, that's natural. That's just how you was built.
But if you have denser
nat-
bones than me, that's natural too, right?
no, it's not natural. I mean, it's.
But
it
you
is
see how your
natural.
argument is falling apart, though,
No,
right?
no, I'm not. My argument not falling apart because you was born as a man with those denser bones.
According
Against
to
somebody-
you, those people don't feel that way.
What you mean? It's you. All right, look. Do men have denser bones than women?
They're not men, and if you call them a man, you're being offensive now.
What I'm not saying they are men. I'm asking
You're talking
a
about
question.
a specific transgender person, like, right? That's what we're talking about.
No, I'm not talking
Transgenders,
about.
right?
I'm talking about transgendered, but I'm talking about men versus women.
So
now.
if a person was born a man and transitioned into a woman, and you're saying
and if
they're
you still,
a
and
man,
you still have those bones, right?
you're calling him a man, right?
I'm not called. Well, do you want me to use the correct adjectives or something now?
Well,
the
that's
pronouns?
this is one of those conversations where you should be watching the pronouns you use, because you're talking about someone who identifies as a woman and using male statistics against them, which they would say is irrelevant to your argument because they're not men. And what you would have to say to then support your argument is you are a man, you're not a woman. I'm lying?
Is that well? I mean, are they or are they
That's
not?
facts.
See what I'm saying? Like, I ain't mean to point at you, but what I'm trying to get you to understand is what you're doing right now is classifying a person as something other than what they classify themselves as.
Well, biologically, what are they?
That's
'Cause
not for
you-
me to say because
that-
I don't
that's
know,
what you-
Steve.
that's
That's the
what
tricky
you-
part.
I don't know. Like
That's
I said, I don't
all,
know.
It's all tricky. I'm saying what I feel like that it should be. I feel like if you was born a man and you have those faster twitch muscles and you have denser bones, those
That's a
are
lot of
advantages.
ifs. Like
But no, you could look up the research. Like that's what Tristan
so
was doing right there.
so if a person is born in what you would consider a male body, but they feel like they were a female born into a male body, didn't engage in as much activity as males normally engage. And see, here's another thing
But what-
about.
but
let me
they
finish
probably
talking.
do,
I
though.
didn't interrupt you. Here's another thing about these things that you're listing as qualifiers for what you would consider a man to be. Men do have denser muscles, but could that be a byproduct of men naturally doing more masculine activities like playing in rougher environments, playing contact sports, which would build up the density of their muscles and contribute to why they are that way? Just like we see a lot of men who have small musculature, men who are cisgendered men, or what we would consider cisgendered men, with women in frames like females because they don't engage in male activities. Like, those things they're not static for each individual person.
what you just found, Tristan.
Males have larger skeletal size and bone mass than females.
Are we talking about a male or are we talking about a transgender woman?
That's for
Exactly.
that's for
Like,
us to
you can't
determine.
escape that point. No matter what you do, you're identifying a person as
you're-
something other than what they identify themselves as.
But when we could take away the transgender.
No, you can't,
element.
because you're talking about a transgender person.
Oh my God, dog. Like, look.
If you
what
take
I'm
away the
saying-
transgender element, what is this conversation? Because
It's
we're
about
talking
a
about
person
transgenders,
with,
right?
A person with a physical advantage over because you was born with that.
You
with
feel that way.
What you mean? That's facts. That's what it just said. Like that's what Google just said. That
Have you ever seen a
males
woman beat up a
are-
man?
Yeah.
Did his stronger bone density save him?
No, but I mean,
Does
he still
this-
has an advantage. He still has an advantage. And that's what I was saying.
So you
earlier.
can have
I'm
an
not saying
advantage
that
and still
those-
be in a fair fight, right?
No.
So now your logic is falling apart. So you're telling me that if
Advan-
you're
advantage
having
is
an
a
advantage,
advantage.
you're supposed to win.
If you have an advantage, yeah, it's more likely for you to win.
Okay, so if you have a disadvantage, what that mean?
That is more likely for you to lose. I'm not saying that's impossible either way, one way or the other, but the likelihood, just like when we were saying the Batman versus the Spider-Man, we wasn't saying that Spider-Man wins all the time or Batman wins all the time. You said if we put him in 100 battles, it's more likely for Spider-Man to win.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
Based off of things though, and what
what I'm basing it off of
is
that
bone
they're
density,
born-
which
they're
doesn't
born-
translate into
they're
a better
born-
skill set.
What you mean it doesn't translate?
You can
have
be
a
bigger-
physical. You have a
Steve,
physical advantage.
You-
You have a physical advantage.
You just said you saw a woman beat up a man before, right?
Yeah, I have seen that.
So that
before.
means he had a cisgender woman beat up a cisgender man. So I'm being respectful.
I-
So that means he had all of the advantages that you talking about, right?
he could have not been fighting as hard as he could.
Okay, but according to
Go ahead.
you, more times than not, he should have won that fight, right?
Yeah, more times than not.
Based off of him solely being a man.
Based off him being bigger, him having bigger muscles than her.
I think
based
this
off
whole
his
conversation
physical
is we're bringing subjective qualities into a totally objective conversation, or we're trying to make it fully. Well, he's trying to make it objective. You're making it subjective. Y'all aren't gonna come to an agreement on that because the labels matter.
They do, because we're arguing labels right now.
I'm not
Yeah.
arguing labels.
We are, because
I'm
this
not arguing
conversation
labels.
doesn't happen
I'm
if we're not
arguing-
talking about transgender, Steve. You can't ignore
I'm
that.
not-
That's
I'm
dismissive.
not arguing labels. I'm arguing the reason why I don't think they should be in.
Who is they?
the transgender?
That's a label. How we not arguing labels, and that's what we talking about.
That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this almost like I'm arguing that objectively. I'm being objective.
You're away from the mic.
I'm taking an objective point of view of a person born with a physical advantage
Mm-hmm.
versus somebody born without a physical advantage. That's what I'm arguing. I'm
What
not
about that is wrong? What about that is not in every fight that ever happens? Which is why you're not being objective, honestly.
that is being objective because
Tell me when there was a fight where both opponents were equally matched in
they
history.
make them equal as they possibly can. though.
Tell me, okay, that's in every case. But when you say as they possibly can, that means someone still has an advantage, someone still doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So in what fight is there not an advantage and like a less of an advantage?
But it's more of an advantage if
in your
you're-
opinion, based off of something
And
that
all
doesn't
of this-
translate
and
well, when
all
I
of
ask
this-
you,
all of
how
this
does
is my
bone
opinion.
Yes.
All of this is my opinion.
Yes.
All of this is what I'm
Yes.
thinking, and that is why I'm qualifying it with what I'm saying. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm
Right.
not the fucking head of the UFC. I'm not the head of anything. I'm giving you my opinion and why I feel this way. Now you cannot agree with it
Right.
based off of your feelings and the way that you feel
No,
about it.
it ain't
That's-
about feelings.
It
because
sounds like your feelings.
You're arguing facts. You're saying that it's a fact that males have denser bones than females, so it's
It
a
is a
fact.
fact.
So it's a fact that advantage is unfair. That's what you're saying, right?
It
You're
is
not
unfair.
arguing opinions or feelings. So because you're arguing
arguing
facts,
opinions
no,
of
I'm
feelings.
not. I'm still talking about the same
I'm
fact
talking
that you
about
brought
facts.
up.
I'm talking about facts.
Can I finish this thought without you cutting me off?
I'm talking about facts.
So
That's
that
what
means
I'm
no,
saying.
right?
I'm talking about facts.
If you're talking about facts, then how can you not objectively say that every fight that ever has happened, there has been a person with an advantage and a person at a disadvantage? That's a fact, right?
Yeah, but not in every.
There's
fight.
no but, my nigga. That's a fact.
Why you
and-
yelling at me?
Because you keep cutting me off. Like,
Don't yell at me.
cool, don't cut me off.
Don't yell at me.
Don't cut me off.
Don't yell at me.
Relax.
Don't cut me off.
You relax.
I'm
My bad.
relaxed.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Like, I'm relaxed.
Don't cut me off.
He not even focused because he's so in his feelings. What do you
I'm
think he's
not
talking
in my-
about?
I'm
Facts.
not in my feelings.
Then can I finish the sentence?
Finish the sentence, dog.
Exactly. You
the
can't
fuck you
say.
exactly for?
Can I? Because I knew I couldn't finish the sentence. Because as soon as
No,
I wanted to
okay.
talk, you talk again,
That's
and you
fine.
still cutting me off. But you told me
That's
not to
fine.
yell at you. I told you not to cut me off, but you still cut me off.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
You can't deny that every fight that has ever happened has been a person with an advantage and a person with a disadvantage, no matter how you cut it. So for you to say that you feel like the advantage that you picked, that you've identified, that doesn't translate into any real advantage in fighting is qualifiable as a person qualifiable enough for a person to not be able to engage into something is ridiculous, because that is opinion based, that is feeling based, that is not fact based. Because having denser bones don't give you no more advantage than having bigger muscles. Like, niggas with small muscles knock out niggas with big muscles all the time.
So,
that's not how fighting works.
So you're saying that niggas with bigger muscles have less of a chance to knock out somebody with smaller muscles?
I'm saying that if we're talking about a fight, your mass is one variable of multiple that contribute to whether or not you win.
Yeah, but I mean the group of people that we're talking about have an overwhelming advantage in this way.
In
like
your
they
opinion.
but all of them
Just
have,
saying your opinion, and I can let it roll.
It is all in my opinion. What I preface the conversation
that's not what you just
with
said.
in my
What
opinion.
you just said was those people have a significant advantage. That's an opinion, my nigga.
I prefaced this whole conversation as me saying that it was my opinion.
But you just said you was talking facts when you.
I was
used that
talking
point.
about facts when I pointed out that's a fact that a man have a bigger.
But we're
skeletal
talking about a
structure.
transgender woman. We ain't talking about a man. What do transgender women have?
A bigger skeleton than most women.
Have you looked that up? Because what you just now said on the mic and what you just now had him look up was males, right? Not transgender women. Mm-hmm. So why not look up transgender women? Why take what they explicitly told you they're not and apply that to them versus than just looking up transgender women?
Okay. Look up transgendered women.
But you talking facts though, right? You ain't talking feelings or conjecture or opinions you have. You talking facts.
I'm not the one in my feelings. You the one that's yelling.
But that's not a fact, Steve. Because we talking about transgender women and you looked up a male statistic.
Interesting. Says transgender women on HT have lower bone density and more fat.
Disqualify your whole point. Now why shouldn't they be able to do it?
Damn.
Based off facts.
Well, that's still subjective too. Well, it's objective, but still up to
Is
a
it
variable.
happening? Like, is this woman? What's her name? Fox lady.
Fallon Fox?
Fallon Fox.
Is she like actively fighting in any league right now?
I think she's retired.
I think they took her out.
Currently.
Well, shit, she ain't even doing it no more. Well,
She
going
bust-
forward,
she-
I
she
guess
was
it
bust-
could still
she was-
potentially
she
be
was
an
busting
issue.
motherfucking skull though.
Man, look, I
That's
feel
all
like
I'm
this.
saying.
If you gonna let a motherfucker identify themselves as a transgender woman, you gotta let them do woman shit. It's simple as that, to be honest.
I don't know.
You ain't gotta agree that, but that's my opinion.
I don't
if,
agree.
If you gonna give people equal rights, then you gotta give them equal rights. If you don't want them to have equal rights, you can do that. But
I'm not saying that they shouldn't have equal
I'm
rights.
not saying you. I'm saying we're talking about ideas right now. If you're gonna let a person do what they want to do, you either gonna do it or you're not. That's what equal rights are. If you're a woman now, okay, we're gonna treat you like a woman. You're gonna be upheld as a woman. You should be able to do what women should do. And if we not, then that should be what it is. But either way, these are rule-based situations. Like, I don't determine whether or not this person is a man or a woman.
Now there was a transgender boxer who was a woman who transitioned into a man.
Is that a
who
problem?
Is it a problem? I don't know.
Oh man, that's crazy. Shouldn't she have lesser bone density than a real man? It should be so dangerous for her to fight men, right?
I wasn't saying like this is what you getting.
That's a whole nother
like,
question. We
this is what you
already
getting-
off that.
This is what you getting confused though. I'm not saying that anybody with an advantage or disadvantage, they still has a chance to win. She could be more skilled than the other person. But what I'm saying is that it's still a unfair advantage because you're taking something that can give you advantages, which is why steroids is illegal.
But she was fighting, so it obviously wasn't illegal.
She was probably more skilled.
So how does the argument? Okay. But she shouldn't have been fighting men according to that logic, right?
We talking about the boxer or the?
We're talking about
Fallon Fox.
the transgender man who became a boxer. She shouldn't have. And using the logic that you just used for the transgender woman, the advantage being so much so that the fight shouldn't happen because it would be unfair because it's potentially a man versus woman, like you say.
Oh, this is
Hold
another.
on, just
my
let me
bad.
finish.
Go ahead.
Now that the roles are reversed and it's a transgender man, the rules should still be the same. That she have weaker bone density than the actual cisgender man she's fighting, so she shouldn't have been allowed to do that either. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make the rules for one, you should make them for both. That's without saying. But I mean, like you can overcome that. I'm not.
But
I never
this is
said
my
that
thing though. Like we're talking about these titles don't come out of nowhere. Like these titles are political things. They're based around agendas. So I feel like on some real shit, if you gonna let a person transition into a woman and give them, you gonna get. How can you allow a person to transition into a woman and not give them female rights? Is my point. Like, how can you say you're allowed to be a transgender woman, but you're not allowed to be in a woman league? That's like my whole. That's where the argument falls apart to me at, because it's not about fair or unfair, and it never has been in sports. It's never really fair in sports. The objective is to have as much of an advantage as you can through conditioning, training, and your skill set.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. It's conditioning, training, and a skill set.
But everybody's born naturally with something that another person don't, bro. Like some people got better chins than others. Some people punch harder than others. Some people take a hit better than others. Like there's always those variables. I'm not disagreeing with your point. I'm just trying to get you to understand that it's not about whether or not you believe is right or wrong, because we're talking opinions. So it's your personal beliefs. It's about the facts that are actually attached to this issue, being one, this is a transgender woman. So anything that we look up as far as research should be for transgender women. And secondly, I don't know how these independent variables directly translate into such a significant advantage for these people.
So look, this is we can say this too, because there's a difference. There's a difference between somebody that is transitioning from the early age of, let's say, I don't know, 16 to being a transgender woman. There's a difference between, because your body's still developing, chemicals are interacting, and if you're taking your hormone shots, it will, it affects.
You sound informed as fuck, and I don't know nothing about this shit, so I'm just believing you.
This is, I mean, you could look it up. I mean, nobody just take my word for granted. I mean, obviously I can be wrong, as y'all seen, but I mean, this is about, how I feel. So I mean, with hormone therapy, if you're young and you starting it, then it affects the way you develop, which is why I also disagree with transitioning babies, but that's a whole nother subject. But like
I didn't know he was doing
the person I'm talking about, the Fox Filing, I think they started transitioning at 30. I think. Look it up. Hurry up. I think they started transitioning around the age 30, but it was later in life. So they had a man body all the way up until they decided to be a female. Now, I think if we're gonna talk about,
that shit sound messy, yeah.
What? They had up
until they decided to become a man.
Until I mean, like what? I mean, all right,
my bad. I'm not
PC.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna change. Like
there might be somebody listening to us right now that's transgender, and they fuck with you and your opinions. But I'm not saying to filter yourself, but just be conscious of these people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I don't know anything that I'm saying that's wrong. So I mean, like the only person that's giving me any reaction is you. I mean, I keep looking at you.
Well, because I have family members in the community.
Well,
so,
I mean, you're obviously
definitely emotionally invested.
More emotionally invested than I am.
But at the same time, I don't want you to be misconstrued.
She transitioned in 2006.
So how old that makes her?
That was 13 years ago. So, and she's 43 now. So she 30.
Okay, so
put
it was
like
around 30.
Wait, hold on. I'm just telling you why I keep doing that.
Okay.
If you say something that could potentially be offensive, I'm not. You not supposed to say that. I'm telling you, bro, that shit not cool.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not a part of the community. I don't know what I should say or what I shouldn't say.
It's not a choice. Like, people are born. People feel like they're born how they're like. You didn't choose to be straight. You just are. All of these people in these different communities feel the same way. They just have to struggle to be accepted that way.
All right, when the person was able to transition into their true self, is that how I'm supposed to say it? Because to me, that's a lot to say.
Well, it's a lot to feel. Imagine a person that's really making that decision.
When this person decided to when the person was able to make the transition,
right there you go. That's
When-
clean.
Okay. Well,
I'm real shit though. Like,
For real.
so can't nobody be offended by that. Like, when the person was financially or had a financial able or had enough resources to transition into whatever they felt like was the best way for them to be.
cool. When that happened, it's a problem because you had the you was already fully formed as a male. I don't know if I said that right, but I mean,
I get what you're saying. You fully developed.
You already fully
I'm saying
developed.
you got all
So,
your permanent organs and teeth
yeah.
and bones.
versus somebody who transitioned from the age which I think shout out to people. I'm trying to drop y'all some Jews too. Yeah, the state would pay Medicaid, Medicare would pay for your transition, but like for versus somebody that's transitioning at an early age is different. It's different because now you enter in the realm of, and I'm just talking about this specific person at this point because this is the only example that I have.
I feel you.
So when you already fully developed as a cis male and you was able to transition into a female, to me that's unfair advantage because they was also into martial arts the entire time, fighting other men.
Like, I understand your argument from a logical standpoint, but and it's not even a but. I understand your argument. I also want you to understand the people who you're arguing against. But not to say that you're against them, but I'm saying the people who would potentially gain or potentially suffer if certain basic ideas and practices were true. Like, okay, to me it's simple. If you're going to be accepted as a woman at whatever point in your life that happens because you make a conscious decision for that to happen, then we should but generally people should accept you for that. And it is especially, and I like I say, I'm not cleaning this shit. I might say some shit too, especially if you fully transitioned yourself physically into what you're trying to be, what you're trying to present as. You know what I'm saying? Like, you took years to grow your beard, to grow your dreads. You may not realize it consciously, but that's a masculine thing. You took a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of money for you to get to this point. Imagine if somebody just walked up to you and tried to cut your beard off and cut off your dreads because they don't approve of how you're presenting yourself. It may seem like an extreme example, but people do get beat up, bullied, and killed over presenting a certain way that other people don't accept them for. So it's not that I'm trying to make it seem like everything you're saying are wrong or everything that you're doing is wrong. I'm just trying to break this shit down simplest points to what we actually know. And all I actually know is if it's legal for you to transition into a woman, I should respect you as a woman. Because for me to say that you shouldn't be able to fight against a woman means that you're something other than. Innately. It's not like you're blatantly saying it, but I can't think of a good parallel because I'm not really trying to get you to put yourself in their shoes. I'm trying to get you to understand that we don't really know what it's like to be in their shoes. So to just talk about they shit recklessly, like, this means something to these people.
The thing is, I'm not saying that I don't like. I agree with all of that. Is like what I want to get across. I'm talking about one particular issue, and with actually one particular person, and I gave you a counterpoint, so it ain't like I'm like didn't look at it from both sides because I gave you the counterpoint of the female boxer who entered a male league and dominated. So
yeah, and you had the same stance. You felt like that was wrong too.
Yeah, so I'm not like. That's why I feel like I'm objective in it because I look at it from both points. I'd be like, well, shit, she was skilled. She was heavily skilled.
When you say both points, what are the 2 points that you identify?
Well,
because I feel like you're not looking at it from the perspective of being that person who made that transition.
Because I can't. Because I mean,
but you can though.
How?
I mean,
I'm not that person though.
You black.
I'm black. What they got to do with being? What talking about being the discrimination point of view?
Discrimination point of view and the rights point of view. Those are 2 basic points. You know how it feels to be treated different because of how you look, and you know that we've had as a people a history of not having proper rights. and women in general, women didn't always get proper rights. So if you're making a transition into a demographic that's an oppressed demographic, it's kind of extra unfair to become another oppressed demographic on top of that, because you're not even accepted for what you feel like you are.
Well, I'm not of the position to oppress them.
But it's oppressive if you tell a transgender woman she shouldn't be able to fight a cisgender woman.
Okay, well,
because she's not a woman.
Look, this is what I'm saying, which is why I brought up the when the young lady decided to transition. She's not young. Well, she's like 40 something. Which is why I brought up when she decided to transition. If you transition when you early enough, and just from the facts that you said, if you transition when you're early enough, there may not be any physical difference. There may not be, but for this point, from the only case study that I have, which was the only case that we seen of late, the person was already fully developed.
I feel where you're coming from on a logical standpoint, but like I said, it's not really, you can't really logic this one to death, because
there is no logic in it to death.
But I'm saying what you're saying is, even though you know that you're oppressing this person, you still feel like in this individual situation it's okay, because there's no way around. Is this person not legally allowed to be a woman?
What you think, Tristan?
I'm on Rob's side with this, just because, I am black and I do feel that type of oppression. But on the flip side, let's say she was still fighting in the MMA currently and she was still
against
dominating.
males.
No, what if she was still fighting against women and then they outlawed her and they banned her from fighting? Don't you think that her entire community would come and flood in, just like black people come in? Flood in,
But why would you do that though?
Of what?
Like, why would you ban her from fighting because it all comes back to the same thing. It all comes back to people not accepting this person as what they identify as.
You could really make a parallel from niggas playing basketball, because they say that black people have a genetic advantage, and they're more adept at playing said sport.
Scientific facts to prove we got extra muscles in our legs
which
shit.
Isn't proven really.
Ridiculous, because it's white boys out there that work hard and jay on your shit all the time.
Like, I know white boys with 50-inch verticals.
Hey, that's a lot.
That's
a whole lot.
Like, they heads touching the rim. But it's just, I feel like you should do whatever you feel like, because it's your life. And if people don't accept that, I mean, I know it is sports and entertainment, but once there's like so much going behind this shit,
it's not about the sports at that point.
It's not about really sports.
It's literally gonna come
about that's what makes it so because we're trying to watch entertainment, and entertainment like overthrows everything that it gets involved in. Like, putting entertainment in politics, it can throw a whole entire narrative over on his head. Yeah, like that. You put entertainment in, like trying to compare a salary for somebody that acts in entertainment versus somebody in the like middle class. It's gonna overtake it. Like, that's gonna be the narrative. So
I disagree with
I
disagree.
I'm not trying to get you to disagree. I'm just trying to get you to, because I feel like if this sound bad, I don't know if I was on the mic, but I'm trying to get you to admit that the real problem that you have with this is that you don't accept that person as a woman, because
that's the real problem.
And this is why I'm trying to get you to admit it, because when you take away any political titles, when you take away any advantage or disadvantage, if I had an answer for everything that you tried to use as an example for why this person shouldn't be able to fight in this league, you would always come back down to she's not a woman. Because if anything that you say as an example for her not to be able to be in this league is irrelevant or disprovable, except for the fact that you believe that this person is a man. That's all it really come down to. Because, like I said, if we are going to accept people for who they are, who they present as, and this person is her documents on her goddamn driver's license say woman, but you think that she's a man, so she shouldn't be able to fight other women. That's really all it is. All this other shit that you brought up as qualifies is just ways for you to not, like I said, justify your feelings, and you don't think that that's a woman.
If you take away her gender,
Take away the bone density. Take away the advantages that don't exist.
The advantages do exist.
But every fight got advantages.
But they're still there.
What does that mean? Like, every fight has advantages and disadvantages, though. All of them.
But she has more advantages than others.
Why?
All right, okay, let's say this. Back when Shaq played, wasn't he the most dominant center every year that he played? And
which is why people wanted him.
They formed the Hack a Shaq just to get him in foul trouble, so because he couldn't shoot any free throws. Were people saying that he shouldn't play basketball?
Was Mike Tyson not supposed to knock niggas out in the first round?
But see, like what y'all trying to come up with?
It ain't trying. It's just facts. You're trying to avoid the fact that your real only problem is that you don't think she a woman.
That's not what I'm trying to avoid. Which you gave me the example of Shaq. The people had to develop a strategy to go around him to foul Shaq out because he was overwhelmingly in an advantage. He had an overwhelming advantage over their team because he had an advantage of his size, his strength. You can't play fair with him, so you had to come up with something to just take him out the game.
Yeah, but
You had to come up with a strategy. With that being known, and that person did not disclose. Like, look, I'd be of a totally different opinion if Fallon Fox would. Damn, that was loud.
Yeah.
If Fallon Fox would have disclosed that, and those women knew that they was fighting a transgendered woman. But the problem with that is what y'all are saying. She felt like, hey, that was my medical stuff.
It is though, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not saying that she's illogical for her argument, and like this is what makes this argument like so muddy. But my problem is not the fact like I would not call her a woman. I think of her as a man. I just think that because of the lifestyle that she led before that is, you know what? Yeah. The lifestyle that she led before that, like it just gave her advantage because she has an advantage. She has a physical advantage.
People have to live a certain type of way to be in that league because the rules say, and that's the other thing. There are rules. Like there's no
she
way.
Retired, so I mean, she got what she got.
But there's no way you know better than the people who put fights together whether or not this lady has an advantage.
You're right.
So for you to say that she shouldn't be allowed to do it because of an advantage that you invented that's not really qualifiable because it doesn't directly translate to people who actually do this shit for a living and put it together, it's like, what is your real problem with this? Because it's a woman fighting a woman. So what is your problem? The fact that one of the women, in your opinion, is different than the other, right?
Yeah.
What difference about the one that you don't like or the one that you
I did never say
the one that you don't think should be in this league or allowed to be in this league? What's the difference between her and the woman that you do think should be allowed to be in this league?
The way she was developed.
You don't know the way she was developed.
All of this is opinions. All of this is opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you my opinion.
You have an opinion about the way that she was developed with no information about how she was developed. How?
I just gave you ways
That was
that she
logical
was
as fuck. Like
I just gave you how she was developed because when she was a man, she had a big bone density. She had a bigger skeletal structure.
And this shit that you know, this not your feelings and your preconceived notions about what you
I was
believe.
never in my feelings.
How when you can't see how logically there's no problem between two women
You
fighting.
just said you logically you saw my point of view. You saw where I was going with it, right?
Yeah.
You said that.
I did. I
Okay,
also
that's
said that we
all.
qualify things to justify the way that we feel. I also said
Okay,
that.
but that's not me in my feelings though. This is me looking at it objectively because I'm the
Objective-
one who gave you the example of the other transgender boxer,
But
who
that's-
does not have any of those advantages, and
that-
he still succeeded.
That example does not change anything about your opinion on this particular person who we talking about.
Can we agree to disagree then? Because you're not gonna change my mind. I don't
I'm
feel.
not
I don't
trying
feel
to change your mind.
I
I'm just
mean,
trying to get you
I
to
don't
see
see
that
that.
your argument isn't objective. It's biased as a bitch.
Okay.
Because if you agree that she's a woman and you agree that her opponent is a woman, that's the end of it. But you disagree. That's why it's not the end of it.
Okay. Bet.
What's the next topic?
Well, back on. Damn, y'all niggas went in for a little
We
minute.
always do this shit.
So,
it's
yo,
whatever. It's
I
whatever.
really. All right, let's take a little change of pace, something a little more lighthearted. Recently, if y'all have been watching y'all weekly anime, which y'all should, y'all need to be keeping up on every season, every
them
show,
vitamins in.
every shonen that's popular, all because y'all need to be in the culture. Demon Slayer just ended at episode 26, and right after the episode ended, they featured that they're coming out with a movie
A Demon Slayer movie?
only a month after the last episode aired.
They need it.
And it's gonna be a movie that features the next arc. So it's just like diving into the next arc.
Like a
arc in
feature length, like an hour and a half?
Yeah,
That shit gonna be dope.
it's gonna be the Infinity Train arc. I guess it has something to do with the train that they're on. So I'm
That's
assuming
kind
that
of
there's gonna be
dicey though.
a
Like
lot of shit.
If that bitch called the Infinity Train, how they got on it? That bitch don't never stop. I'm guessing if it's the Infinity Train. Why
I
it's
mean-
called that? Do you know why it's called that?
Nah, I don't know. But the only thing that I can assume that this whole arc is gonna take place on that train.
it's another season coming though, right?
Yeah, of course.
So like, I hope they not. The reason why I say that could be rich because I hope they're not trying to use the movie to like as a big ass segue. You know, what I'm saying?
I wouldn't assume that they're gonna try to buy
battle
more
guys, that bitch.
more time. But
That
well,
would be dope.
I don't like that because you could really watch the movie and skip like 50 episodes of.
Yeah, they fucked that up in
DBS.
fucking Dragon Ball Super. Like, god damn, why I gotta go through 100 fucking episodes of Battle of God and filler to get to where the juicy parts at?
Yeah, it's like you would go Battle Guys, Resurrection of F,
Yeah.
and then now you're at like
forgot about
episode
Resurrection.
103.
Yeah, like everything
They
else
need to do that.
you could have skipped all that shit.
I thought I heard some stuff about a super coming back. Is it?
Yeah,
It's supposed to.
it
Oh,
is.
okay.
It
I didn't
is.
know if it was just rumors or not.
Yeah, that's for sure confirmed. But yeah, like, what do y'all think about the movie coming on? Like, y'all think this is a good move, bad move?
Yeah, man. I
mean,
It's
sudden.
I'm pro anything Demon Slayer.
But what's sudden in today's market? You know what I'm saying? It's like pretty much if you got it and you got the content, you got a fan base, give it to them. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I don't know when it's coming out. If it's coming to theaters, it's gonna be like a Crunchyroll
Oh, yeah.
exclusive, but it's coming on
hope not.
October
That'll-
12th. So that's close.
You think it should be exclusive?
So it's not. It's only coming on Crunchyroll.
No, like I don't know if it's gonna be either or. If it's coming to theaters, we should go watch that bitch. But if it's
Hell
coming
yeah.
on just like a streaming service, I still watch it. You know.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that bitch.
Yeah,
Fuck
but
yeah.
man, bro, I hope it ain't just on Crunchyroll though.
Yeah.
I kind of want to, watch that
I
on
hope
the big
that.
screen.
I hope that bitch. I hope that bitch is. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for that motherfucker. To be honest with you.
Shit, and to piggyback off of that too, y'all ready for My Hero coming real soon?
When that bitch coming?
Bro, I'm about to have a
In the
panic
next few
attack.
months. The next few
Nigga, I
months.
just downloaded
Oh,
Crunchyroll manga.
Yeah. They don't have a lot of shit that I want to read,
They
man.
don't. They only have like they only have. Let me look at my fucking favorites, dog. They got Rising the Shield Hero, Attack on Titans, and 7 Days of Sin. That's the only thing that I want to read out of that shit.
That's it.
That's a good bit though.
Yeah,
That's
well,
three.
yeah, but
I mean, that's
I'm-
good.
well,
Good.
at
Three
the same
quality
time.
ones, 3 good ones.
yeah.
I was looking for Tokyo Ghoul. I was looking for I was looking for Boruto because people telling me that the Boruto manga is a lot better than the show. People been telling me that.
They've been trying. Like Boruto is being supported by a single thread, which is the manga, because nobody really fucks with the show because they're like, this little
Because-
nigga like ain't never gonna be Naruto.
It ain't
And
even that. It's not as compelling. I wish I knew why. I don't have a bigger description, but the way that I don't know, man. You just still want to see Naruto and Sasuke doing that shit.
Yeah,
I think that's all it really
and
is.
they're not doing like they look basic. They look like they're just regular ninja fighting people. Like they should be fucking over people.
But if you think about
OP
it,
as fuck.
Jiraiya and Tsunami did used to just be walking around like they was regular people, even though they was like legendary. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it kind of it
But if
fits.
they-
It's just not what I want.
But
though.
if they fought, they only fought like the only people that gave Jiraiya trouble was other legendary ninjas.
pain.
That's what I'm saying. Other legendary ninjas gave that nigga trouble. Like
That was
if
so
you wasn't
sad.
if you wasn't a Pain, a Itachi, a Orochimaru, like Jiraiya was running through your shit. Now I'm not even gonna act like I've been watching the Boruto shit. So I mean, the one nigga I did see Naruto fight, he fucked over. But
You ain't gonna stick around because he ain't gonna fight nobody.
Yeah, he ain't really like.
Not
I
my
mean,
cup
and
of tea.
then when I see Boruto fight, it just I don't know. It's just not.
He a
it's just not
stunner,
cool.
man. He
be whining too much.
the way
man.
that they established his character in the movie using that little fucking ninja tool with the jutsus in it, like that really made me not fuck with him. I don't know if that was their goal or not, but after that I was like, oh, this nigga a sucker. What the fuck?
I think the reason I feel like people don't relate more to Boruto than they did Naruto is, I mean, classic, shonen tropes. You know what I'm saying? The MC is usually someone who is the bottom of the barrel who grows into
Oh, you
this
ain't lying.
awesome ass
He Naruto's
person.
son.
You know what I'm saying? But he's Naruto's son, and he already came out with a bunch of friends.
Like T.I. son trying
I
to make
mean,
music.
I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
can really say that because Naruto was Minato's son.
Well, what I'm saying is that
He ain't know
Bar-
it though. Nigga
but-
daddy wasn't around. He wasn't there.
Yeah,
Daddy wasn't there.
Baruto have his father, have his mother, have a little sister, have a
Got friends and
donjutsu,
shit.
got friends, strong as fuck, got like 3 chakra natures. I said natures. 3 chakra shit, I'm fucking up all these words. 3 chakra natures.
I didn't even know that.
He got lightning, wind, water, like
How? That ain't even.
it's
That's
not
the most 3 destructive forces.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he just pulled fire out his ass one day.
Nigga's a hurricane.
Yeah, like he
That shit
and then he
Kinda OP.
cheated in the fucking tuning exam when he was supposed to lose.
Yeah.
Like, so not only do you have everything that Naruto didn't, you
And
don't
you a
even
suck ass
you
nigga.
don't want to fucking work hard. Like, and you good at basically everything. So
That's-
like, what the fuck? Like, you up in there talking about I don't want my clothes to get dirty, bitch. You a ninja.
I didn't
He
even
sounds really
realize all
pretentious
that.
too.
Yeah.
He just
I don't fuck
real
with his character.
unlikable. Like Steve broke it down though. Like everything he said, I'm just like, you know what? But I never thought about the individual points. But he's just not. I don't know, man. Like you say, not them classic tropes.
Yeah.
Stick to that old shit. It worked.
Yeah,
sure.
man. Like, give me somebody I can relate to. Give me somebody like
I can root for.
Mofuse.
Like Kaneki, dude. I was hooked on him. Even at first, he was crying like a little bitch for the first season. Second season, shook back. Lots of
Yeah.
struggle. I just love a good struggle in an
Yeah,
anime.
like, I don't
She
think he
just
got-
scared the soul out your boy.
I don't think we're gonna be long, Chess.
What we looking like on time, T?
Dude, we're at like a pure
Yeah, the pure
hour
One
and
more.
hour and 10.
hour
Hour and
10.
10.
How many more topics we got left? Let's go ahead and see.
It's like two more about gaming. That's it.
Okay.
Call of Duty. I hate the fact that I have to bring this up.
Can you go without me? And because I mean, I know you had to drive over here. I can see you the money.
Yeah, I mean, I could go and get it. I was just gonna wait for you if y'all was gonna do it.
Oh, okay. Well, just you go ahead if you want it, because it's probably gonna be cold. I don't really know how long these 2 sections are gonna take. Okay. Can you edit that out?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, should we clap or something to get it back in?
Nah.
Alright,
I'm
bet.
Just
gonna
jump
just,
back into
All
the.
right. Anyway,
You know what? Yeah.
Wait, that was opposite.
It's cool. I just need one of them. But yeah.
But-
I hate to bring up Call of Duty, but that is one of them the games that's about to come out.
Man, I actually like this card, man. Modern Warfare.
I hate Call of Duty. I hate the whole franchise, dude.
I mean, like, I feel like,
It's just like 2K.
yeah, I understand why. I really
It's
get
the same shit every time.
I really get it. Annual release every year. Don't be no thought into it. Just give
Like,
it another
wasn't there
storyline and send it off to the races.
Like, wasn't there a Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, and 4? Now they're bringing it back. Just calling it Modern Warfare. What are they doing?
Man,
I don't
mean,
understand.
I like
that.
it. I mean, I don't even like. I haven't even played only played 2 Call of Duties. This is the one that's currently coming out, and the one called Advanced Warfare. And that's when they first started going to the future shit. I liked Advanced Warfare. I tried to play 3, but it wasn't getting it for me. I didn't like the art. But I don't know. This one, I think I'm only getting because my friends. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to get in it because
Yeah, I mean, like, all of my friends are talking about it. I actually have the game because I purchased a new graphics card and they gave me the code for it. But I don't even think I'm gonna play it. Like, I'll play it for single player probably. That's cool. But
I ain't playing it. I ain't
past that, like, I need more of a compelling shooter. Like,
played
I
Child
need
House.
like lore. Well, yeah, for sure. I need like lore. I need I need like a shoot to loot. I need more elements about it than just like real time warfare.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. That shit's dope. That's what I've been playing. I've been playing that bitch. I stopped playing Skyrim for a while when the beta come out. Just to play that motherfucker. You heard me? Like that bitch nice. I mean, I think I like the gun physics. Like when you shoot that motherfucker and you hit somebody, you felt like you hit somebody. I shot a nigga in the helicopter and the helicopter crashed, and I was like, "Bitch, go, fucking go! Nobody gonna fucking touch me, nigga. I got a motherfucking gun in my hand." Like I felt like that, and then like you get
really
to
be feeling
customize,
good.
you be customizing your little character and shit. And fuck, I don't know. Like that's all I got. I don't really like if a game make me feel good, I'll buy it.
Oh, man,
That's about it.
They are making these games directly for niggas like you.
They are, man.
Because
I
I'm
hate
way more hard to please. Like games I play have to have a little oomph to it. Like Borderlands 3,
Yeah, my nigga,
shit is amazing.
You like Destiny though?
Yeah. All right. So now I've been waiting for one of y'all to get into a Destiny conversation with me. Okay, so why
That shit trash, man. You can't play that shit by yourself. It's
Yes,
pay
you
to
can.
win.
you can and it's not?
Trash.
So what
EA.
type of information are you
EA.
basing that off of? Stuff from
EA.
from 2017,
EA.
2018,
I don't
EA.
even- It probably was 2017.
Oh, BioWare.
BioWare,
I don't know. I don't ever play Destiny.
Bungie, dude.
Bungie, fuck it.
I'm like, what? EA?
Wait, that's the Halo niggas, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you own it.
No.
That shit trash.
Okay, so
I
tell
tried to
me
play it,
one
fam. I
good
wanted
reason
to
why y'all
play
think it's
it.
trash that isn't based off of something that happened more than a year back.
Oh, okay.
It's first person only, and I can't change the perspective to third person.
That's really subjective.
It is. It's my
That's
personal
really
opinion.
particular.
Personal opinion. Personal opinion.
What about you?
I don't like shooting in the stars. I don't like I like shit that's on the ground.
Nigga, it's the whole game is on the ground. What are y'all talking about?
You getting the airship. I feel like it's like Star Wars. I'm not into that shit.
You know the real reason
I'm
I
not
don't like
into that
Destiny? It is personal bias. I played what's that shit that was for free? The Ninja game on
I know what you're
PlayStation.
talking about Warframe.
Warframe, son.
Warframe.
I played Warframe and I was like, oh, Destiny looking like the upgraded Warframe. Played Destiny and it was the downgraded Halo, and I never went back to that bitch.
Well, I've been playing
In the
Destiny
fucking-
for like the past 6 years.
But all the commercials was third person, so I feel like they cheated and tricked me.
it's my favorite game ever.
What the fuck y'all fighting? The Reapers?
Just Jack and Daxter is better than Destiny.
Because
Your
it's
favorite game
it's a ever evolving game. Like every season brings something different.
This
I can't say shit about certain parts in Destiny 1, and I can't say anything about how Destiny 2 started, but from where Destiny 2 started to now, they've made like monumental changes to catering to the community. They literally
Oh, he was serious. This is
they
really his favorite game.
no, I'm being serious.
This nigga play Destiny all the time. You don't see Ghost right there?
Bro, look, like the
That's
whole,
his main
I have a
game.
ghost right there. Like they listen to the community directly. They have community admins that
Y'all
go.
motherfuckers playing it.
He must have never played Gwent. Gwent Beta.
Freak y'all niggas wild,
He
bro.
played The Witcher 3, I think.
Y'all are
Tripping.
He played
y'all
Destiny,
comparing
fam?
this shit to fucking Gwent,
This
dude.
nigga said Destiny.
but-
Warframe better than Destiny.
And no,
Warframe better than Destiny. And it's a
No.
free to play game.
Well, you could pay to win in
This is a free to play
Warframe,
game
though.
now.
Definitely can.
You could definitely.
Destiny
pay
2
to
is
win.
I
free to
encourage
play
it.
as of October 1st. That's in
Oh yeah?
2 days.
Oh, so
I
it's
might
about to be
download
free?
that bit for
yeah,
free.
I mean, yeah, if it's free, I get on
Play
it.
that
Yeah,
bit for
exactly.
free.
I'll get on
Play that
Uh-huh.
bit for
I ain't
free.
about to
So
pay.
now we're getting to the real reason why.
Hey.
Oh yeah, because
It's not free to
good
play.
enough it's not good enough to buy, nigga. No, I'd pay anything for
This
free,
episode
nigga.
gonna be called "Getting to the Bottom of It" because
yeah, we got to the bottom of
get
shit.
to the root, get
The
to the
root
root
of
of
everything.
the issue.
But yeah,
Fucking
it's my favorite game. Like you had to really stick with it and not leave it because there's like a bunch of niggas that talk shit about it because they had a certain
Yeah, I'm just
experience
talking shit.
at a certain part, and I'm always interested
You
to
like
hear why because
You like the No Man's Sky shit.
that shit's trash.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
like people feel like it got better over time though.
You know what? I guess I could feel the same way that y'all feel about Destiny because back when No Man's Sky got announced,
I don't play that shit.
all my niggas was saying, "Oh my god, you can explore 3 million planets, blah blah blah."
Explore what? The
And then
fuck
it's
is-
like-
walk around.
I don't think a game can have that much data to actually
Have interesting shit on
yeah,
there.
like having like what 1 million different planets. What are you talking about? So then the game dropped and it was trash, just like I said, and nobody played it. So
Yeah,
even
they still
if
trying to put like NPCs in that bitch, that shit
yeah,
poo poo.
so like even if that game is getting better, how it started really affected the viewpoint of that franchise.
Hell yeah.
And I like giving games a second chance. You know, like maybe I'll start buying games that people don't really play and like trying them out, and give them my own personal opinion on them because I feel like that's
should do that.
what people should be doing more.
Yeah.
I play Destiny for free. I was never gonna buy that bitch. I don't care if it was $1. I play it for free though.
On October 1st,
I
game is free to play.
I play Fallout 76 for free.
I wouldn't play that shit. For
I don't know
free.
about that.
I play it
I'm
for free.
I don't know about that, dude.
Y'all ever played Evolve? The game where you start off
Yes.
as a cell?
I never played it.
That game went downhill, but I got that shit for free. I got like 120 gigs of like
That shit fun.
shit. Yeah,
It's
trust.
really fun.
It's fun.
It's childish, but it's fun. I be making like the weird. I be trying to make Digimon in that bitch. That's what I be trying to do.
I
Bro.
don't know
For
what
real,
the
for
fuck that
real.
is. I don't know what the fuck.
Evolve is like you start off as a single celled organism and you continue to grow and evolve and change in the.
Oh wait,
Oh,
no, that's wait, isn't that
I thought the Evolve was the monster game.
Ancestors? The
No, I'm
Humankind
talking about
Odyssey?
the old ass game. Like
Oh,
shit
there-
came out like 2005.
There's a game called Evolve that was like
The Human Odyssey or some shit.
no. There's a game called Evolve that came out in like 2014,
I don't know.
and it was a game that was like Gears of War's Horde mode.
What?
Yeah, it was like a
It
game
sound
like
kinda dope.
fully based on. Yeah, it did, but it did really poorly, and they started to sell the game for free.
So many games just be
Oh,
falling off.
so
bro.
is that why Destiny 2 was coming free? It just fell off. And they
No, actually, if y'all really want me to
Yeah. Tell us
tell y'all why, if y'all
Bungie-
not being sarcastic and
why
shit,
Bungie selling this
they're
shit for free. Your hard work.
they're going the free to play model because they just separated from Activision, who was forcing them to push out content before they were ready, making the game shitty. Which is they were the sole reason why Destiny 2 was shit in the first place because they forced all the devs and them to push out their shit faster than they wanted to because of money. So every single documentary that they put out so far, they've been shading Activision every chance that they got because they were like, "Oh, we have more creative freedom, so we can do exactly what we want," and then they'll be like that, like it's so
something
dope. So they're making it free to play because they're more focused on dropping season passes.
Yeah.
And they're more focused on like getting aesthetics from like the cash out, which they'll like it'll cost less for you to play essentially, but
Y'all
like
niggas gonna get a
they're-
VR.
huh?
If they go to VR, I'm never playing again.
A BR.
Oh.
Battle
Yeah.
Royale.
No, nah. If they actually made that shit in Destiny, I would quit right then. And I'm like, all right, peace, guys, gotta go.
I'd probably play a Destiny Battle Royale on the cool. That was some real shit.
Bro, it wouldn't be
mode.
it wouldn't be fucking balanced, dude. Trust me. I've been playing
need
that game for
balance.
way too
I just
long.
need fun. I still play Clash of Clans and goddamn Hearthstone. I don't need balance. Well, look, how many more topics we got, man? Steve, tired in this thing?
Dude, like if you want to get into some music and shit, that'll be about it.
I ain't really heard too much. I heard that new The Baby. It was. What y'all think? You ain't heard it yet? You heard it, man?
I listened to it for like a day, and I was like, I like to listen to shit while I'm driving, and if I'm going on like a long haul, it's gonna be on repeat. And I just didn't know when the one song started and the other song ended. Like it just sounded the same to me.
I'm gonna keep it platinum, fam. I watched the interview, him and Big Boy, and he was talking about how different this was gonna be, how he had some of this, some of that. The intro, that sounded loud as a bitch. The intro was like the intro went hard. The intro was probably my favorite song. I like Double XL, and I like Bop. And I done listened to it like a good 4-5 times. Those are the three that's actually I put you know what I'm saying, saved to my little playlist. But other than that, it's like, man, I see what you got. You know what I'm talking about? I see what you're doing. It's not that anything is particularly
You ain't see that?
have been in there for a while. It ain't that anything was like a standout bad track. It just didn't have a lot of standout great tracks either. And like there was a couple features that I feel like was a miss. Like the Nicki Minaj feature was a miss for me. I ain't really like that. He had a couple references and stuff in here and there, but it sounded like he wasn't really taking it serious. Like even on one song he said, I'm just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? But like this your sophomore album. You know what I'm talking about? So it sounded like he was just fucking around, to be honest.
It streamed well though. Streamed extremely well. It was like projected to be 150K first week.
I'm pretty sure people was.
He
on
already got like 26
million.
million streams. So
I listened to it 5 times. So like
it's still good shit, but it's just like
ain't nothing special.
I don't think I'm gonna run to his junior album or his third album because I'm not really like I know he could rap. Like there's no doubt about it, he could rap. But just like I said earlier, like is he about to put some like experimental shit out there? Is he?
I doubt it.
He did
This
try to
was
sing on that
experimental
shit
for him.
Yeah, that was only like 1 or 2, maybe 3 songs out of 13.
You gonna get that The Baby that you like though, and I was on his team going into it because like the imagery of him and his father on the front, his father just passing, and especially that's probably why I like the intro so much because like he addressed the shit straight up. You know what I'm saying on the intro, but it was just it was good. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say it was bad. It just wasn't special.
I got that. I did not listen to that shit. I'm not gonna say it's shit, but I ain't listen to it.
It's worth listening to, but it won't be in your top 5, top 10, top 20. You know what I'm saying?
He hot right now, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna.
There's a couple songs on there.
He's gonna do straight.
Keep it going. Shit. On another tip, just to add this one in, Young M.A. finally made an album.
I heard about that,
Bruh.
I heard about that. I'm pretty sure.
I heard a couple songs before the album came out though. Like I just heard she put out some Lucy's, I guess. So I heard like 2 or 3 songs from her, and like she was just on some shit. Like one of the songs she was talking to her words, she was talking to her bitch, and she was just like going off on her. But like she sounded like, I know it's Young M.A.'s a lady, a woman rather, a lady, a whole fucking gangsta out this bitch. But you know what I'm saying? She was just spitting the shit, and like it was relatable as a man. I'm like, you know what? That motherfucker right.
I think that was her goal because she was. I saw some type of clip of an interview like she was really trying to get you to feel her bars and feel what she's going through because she has emotions too. She has because she's projected as this thing like she's more masculine, I guess.
She got so it's an album.
Yeah,
it's an album.
It's an album.
It's an album.
What it's called? I'm probably
It's
listening to
called.
that shit on the way home.
It's called Her Story in the Making.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
always go hard. I listened to one of her freestyles saying on Flex. She was eating that shit. I can't quote one line, but she was eating that shit.
that's the thing about Young M.A. It's not necessarily a whole lot of quotables, like at least in the songs that I've heard too. It's not necessarily a whole lot of quotables, but it's like she got a good pocket. Like her flow always retarded, and like she just say shit that
Yeah, that'd be
It just sound cool. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better description, like you call her Stephanie, I call her Ebony. That's not really a bar. It just sound cool. You know what I'm saying? So
I like the way she
I fuck
sound. To
with
be
it.
honest with you, the way she fucking sound when she rap, she look like Kevin Gates though.
She looked like it. Look, man.
Them niggas brothers.
We gonna get one more email in this thing. We gonna get up out of China real quick. Got
Shit,
business
let me try to
take out.
find some juicy if y'all really trying to get
Man,
into it.
give us something crazy, son.
I mean, let's see. It's not too crazy.
Well, let me do it.
Okay, how would you convince someone to do something that they didn't want to do? This is on some rape vibes. So you know what?
I don't think I would, you guys. I wouldn't do it.
What kind of question is that?
Right? Like I need some more context.
Kind of wild. Like I ain't finna shout
What would
nobody
you
out
do?
asking me some shit like that, yo. I'm gonna put that in
I'm
the.
about to report that bitch.
I'm about to report y'all to Google services, nigga. Like,
Why you
Wait,
trying to, what you
so
trying to
say-
find out? How y'all
How
gonna
you
do
make somebody do something they don't wanna do? You fucking don't. Like,
it's like
If they tell you no,
how can I
nigga,
be a
that's
master
it.
manipulator?
oh
If they say no, nigga.
You know what? Fuck
question that
it.
shit.
What's your least favorite anime? Already got it. Off rip.
least favorite anime?
I know he about to say Fairy Tale.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite anime. I don't know. There ain't no anime I watched I
what's
didn't
that
like
shit?
for real.
The Legend of Sinbad.
Legend of Sinbad, really? Maybe Agent, but I mean, I feel like I didn't give it a fair shot.
That was
I like Agent.
a movie, huh?
It was a show. It got 2 seasons,
Real?
if I'm not mistaken.
I keep on thinking like when I hear Sinbad, I think
hate
of
that shit.
Talking
I
about
promise
Magi.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Maggie.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Legend of Sinbad.
I think that is Maggie.
Yeah, let me see that bit.
Yeah, it is Maggie.
That's Magi. Oh,
I
you
hate
did
that shit.
you didn't like
I
that?
hate that shit.
What? Yo, that shit is fire.
No,
Oh
it's
man,
not.
we're
That
we're
shit
at a
not
discrepancy. I was like,
that shit not fire.
after I heard, I'm like, I know he's not talking about Magi. Like,
That shit not fire.
damn. Okay,
I haven't
Yeah.
watched
Name.
it though, so I
we're
can't
all
even
entitled
defend
to our own opinions, but that shit was fire to me.
Maybe I ain't give it enough of a chance, but nah.
it. Oh,
I like
that's why I
that
say
shit.
about Agent. I mean, like I didn't like it, but I mean, I didn't really sit there and watch it. You know what I'm saying?
What the
The one with the aliens? I guess I don't know what the fuck it is. Shadow people? Something.
oh
doing
uh
something. Something's doing something. I think they're aliens. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Oh, y'all ain't answered yet. After y'all answer, I got a good ass question.
That's the main character was voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, which is my favorite voice actor.
What's your least favorite anime, Steve?
Oh, Agent.
Oh, okay. Agent, Magi, and fucking
Fairy Tale.
Man, okay. I got one last question for y'all before we get out this bitch. Remember
up?
back in the day, Street Fighter versus X-Men, I believe it was just on the arcades and they ported that bitch over the console.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Was that Marvel vs. Capcom?
No,
Or was it Street Fighter versus?
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Street
Yeah.
Fighter versus specifically Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think was the home port. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah.
What anime? Pick 2 anime and put them in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. Like style. Like this anime versus that anime in a Marvel vs. Capcom style. Like
And it
major
actually
characters,
be-
major villains.
Can it be even?
Nah, nigga, like just 2 school. You could put Attack on Titan against fucking Bleach if I give a damn. But just that, like those 2 the universes will clash though. So you got to keep in perspective. Whichever 2 universes you put together, them bitches fuse.
Hunter x Hunter
Oh my god, you took mine.
versus. I know that's why I said.
Wait, you gonna start off with Hunter x Hunter?
Nigga.
Hell yeah,
Oh.
Hunter x Hunter versus
He about to
Full Metal Alchemist.
Nigga, how? Like everybody OP. Everybody.
Hey,
Everybody OP.
But you can't tell me there ain't gonna be no interesting fights. A nigga using Nin versus a nigga who clapping and shit.
The first nigga that discovered you can transmute Nin, Rhapsody. Rhapsody. What? Death, bitch! I turn your whole body into gold in
But
this
all the niggas,
death. What the fuck?
all the niggas who
Transmute Nin.
Flames, all your blood turn into
Shit,
fucking fly. Flames.
The nigga who could transmute and be a have manipulative man.
Oh, man,
that nigga gonna
fam.
be crazy. That nigga gonna be transmuting
I
shit
don't
and
know what I'll
changing
put
it to
together,
some
'cause I
other
was
shit
gonna
back to
use
some other shit.
Hunter x Hunter, because that's mad balanced. Like,
I don't know, son. I think Hunter x Hunter universe got that fight in the bag.
let's see, Tokyo Ghoul.
Unless you can fucking.
I'm gonna fuck y'all up with mine. I think I just figured
because
it
I'm still
out.
thinking of my second one.
We gonna start off with Fate.
At a loss of information.
The whole shit. Okay.
Holy Grail scenario. We starting off right there.
Damn, it's gonna be a Holy Grail war.
We gonna transverse over. Wait for it. JoJo, nigga.
Oh shit!
We got stands and we got motherfucking what they called heroes. I forget what they called, but you know what I'm talking about. Goddamn it!
I'm on JoJo's side just because I don't know what Faith about.
It ain't even about size. The universe is class. You could have a nigga that got a JoJo stand and they got a fucking legendary hero. And they could have potentially have powers themselves. Like, nigga, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Mixed with fucking Mortal Kombat, nigga. It's like not cards fighting to the death. Heroes fighting to the death.
That's tight, I guess.
Like Dracula versus Hercules with a JoJo stand.
That's a lot.
Nigga, that's lit. That's lit, cuz. Imagine Hercules got a fucking stand, cuz. What would his stand be? Lion Bane?
Son,
That's me. What you got, Chi?
I think I'm gonna fuck y'all head up with this one.
What's that?
Shit, we're gonna keep shit real current too.
This
right?
nigga yonder.
Okay.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
Oh my god.
With what?
And
Dr.
Tokyo
Stone.
Ghoul.
So fuck humanity,
Who's
huh?
gonna fuck
They
Fuck
they
humanity.
basically have the
gonna
same
roll that
story
Like fuck humanity.
because they
Fucking
they
Goose
don't
gonna be
know
breathing their
why
ass off.
demons are eating people, and they don't. Well, they kind of know why the ghouls are eating people, but they're all trying to convert and try to not understand the other side because really
first-
the demons and the ghouls really gonna be on the same side.
The first ghoul that learned how to breathe.
Ooh,
Fuck
ooh.
niggas up.
I ain't
That
gonna
nigga be-
stunt.
That nigga tail gonna be fucking niggas up. Damn lightning.
I think
Blah, blah, blah.
Lightning Kakuja, dude, bruh.
I think I just thought about the
It's it for
most
you.
gory scenario for this. Like cross world shit.
Put it on me.
Berserker and Goblin Slayer. Nigga.
I think that'd be the same fucking world.
But you gotta think about it though.
You just have
It's
Goblin
a
Slayer
lot
in
of
that bitch.
it's a lot of dying going on in that
Actually, I think
bitch.
Goblin Slayer world would be a lot worse.
Mixed with Berserk after the demons enter the world, nigga, it's lit.
Yeah, I think-
You got
I
all
think-
kind of fucking. I'm just thinking about the characters. That's really all I'm thinking about. Is like the little demon council that came up out the ham and after old boy sacrificed. Oh man,
hand.
all three of those is characters. I mean, all of those is characters, fam. Oh man, Seven
don't think-
Deadly Sins.
I don't think
Seven Deadly Sins could probably do one on their own.
I feel
Yeah.
like Seven Deadly Sins and Berserk, that would be dope.
Word?
I think.
I don't
Seven
think that would be fair.
Yeah, I don't think no.
because
it's-
Guts is still like human.
yeah, ain't no good guys in
But I mean,
Berserk.
if you're
That's
fucking fighting demons,
Yeah, but like,
who
have
gon-
you seen Meliodas versus anybody
See,
ever?
I feel like Goblin Slayer versus Berserker would be more like a Guilty Gear type situation.
feel
Like you
like-
see a bunch of weird ass weapons and you know what I'm saying?
I honestly feel like Goblin Slayer don't stand a chance because that nigga ain't gonna be wanting to fight a demon. He gonna be looking for the goblins. He gonna be like, demons, Guts got it. Where's the goblins? Where's the goblins?
Bro, I'm really over here thinking now. Like I feel like this could be some dope ass. It'll never happen, but anime nerd shit.
I'm trying to see like who I could put
I think-
against My Hero Academia.
Yu-Gi-Oh versus Digimon?
That nigga Yamuyuki is cold.
They're like, the
That nigga
fucking
Yusei
Digimon
Fudo is
just like-
cold too.
Mega Man Battle.net versus Pokemon?
I don't know nothing about making.
I fuck with Mega Man.
Like
I
not everybody,
fuck with
not
Proto
everybody
Man.
fuck with that.
I
Mega
fuck
Man
with
shit,
Zero
but you
too.
know, I'm on
Brad,
that.
that's that good. Bro.
That's that
I
Capcom.
play all those games too. Bruh, Capcom really be
Now,
like
Digimon
putting it
and
on them.
Pokemon would be pretty cool.
I
Be
might-
the same shit though.
I might be on to some shit, might be some bullshit, but we've all heard of Metroidvania, right?
Yeah.
What about Castlevania versus Metroid, nigga?
All right, so we not even in the realm of just anime anymore. We just doing some random.
Well, we started off with video games.
Okay,
With
well,
Marvel
let-
versus Capcom.
All right. Let's.
I just was trying to
The
think of
Witcher in Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
Oh, hit him.
Me, though.
But nah, because everybody in Game
The
of Thrones
books-
dead, nigga.
The books or the series, like
The books.
the books. Okay,
Because in the
that's-
series, Geralt would dominate.
yeah,
In the
Geralt
book-
would
in the
body all
book-
them niggas.
In the books, though, no.
What, the Game of Thrones books? I ain't read the Game of Thrones books.
Game of
So,
Thrones
I
books,
wouldn't know.
it is a lot more shit than whatever happened up in the shows.
But
It's
they
a whole
got
lot
like
more lore.
so. Well, I don't know how the monsters got in the Game of Thrones world, so I don't
It
know.
ain't
Like
many
the
of
natural
them.
there.
I think Geralt would still dominate in the fucking Game of Thrones world just because he's a not artificial human, but he's a modified human. You know, he's still that. Now he ain't gonna have
the trial of what that shit called.
trial of grasses.
Yeah.
He's still gonna have like the Witcher reflexes and the cat eyes and shit. But what'd be interesting is if he'll still be able to use the magic, because you know in the Game of Thrones world, magic comes at a cost. Blood magic, like you gotta fuck some shit up in order to use magic.
But
in
blood
Game of
magic,
Thrones.
blood magic exists in the Witcher world too, because that's what the little cronies was using to
it does.
extend their life with the kids.
But not in every instance. You know, like every instance of magic in Game of Thrones, like has a cost to it.
I ain't know, like almost
even
on
the
some
dragons.
alchemist type shit.
Yeah, like everything have a cost. Like for what's the old lady name? Bro, it's been like some months since I read them books. But shit, that old lady who tried to bring Khal Drogo back to life. Shit, she cut a horse throat. She didn't really try to bring him back to life. She made that nigga catatonic. But she still had to cut a fucking horse throat just for that. For the fucking dragons to come back to life, Daenerys had to burn that bitch at the stake. So even for the and dragons are magical beings. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing that'd be able to stand against that fucking dragon would be girl.
Yeah, nigga definitely kill it.
And like shit, you gotta understand, like shit, he gonna have to relearn herbs and shit because
He's like Batman.
yeah, he'll have to like come up in that bitch and be like, what this shit do? Start mixing up potions. Now once he figure out a fucking potion
And see,
game,
we had a
it's
whole
it for him.
conversation about that
Decoctions,
shit.
nigga.
Oh yeah,
Information, information,
fuck
everything in a Witch universe. Like
Yeah.
if you don't got the right information, you can't even go get the right tools for the job.
shit. Yeah, girl to fuck around, find some shit out, be murdering everybody. The humans, I don't think a human stand a chance in a 1-on-1 fight. They
Yeah.
jump that nigga. They jump that nigga. They may kill him because he died in the books.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely will get off, but it'll have to be a group effort. Ain't nobody gonna catch
Shit.
him.
How about the Mountain against Geralt?
Garrett every time?
Geralt, fuck him
Garrett
up.
every time with that motherfucking
Yeah, Geralt's quick as shit.
He is quick, and he's strong
Fox school,
too.
nigga.
Yeah, nigga be like, man, give me them ankles, nigga.
Get that steel sword. Like I only need the steel sword for you, nigga.
Fam.
Nigga, that wouldn't even be hard for Geralt. That nigga's used to taking down monsters.
I'm about to fuck around and go home and look up some fan fiction. Not the nasty kind.
Geralt to be.
Just-
I feel like that. I feel like that'd be a dope ass crossover though. Geralt to fuck around, become king
Geralt
of
in
some
Game of
shit. Don't
Thrones.
even want to be.
Yeah.
That might fuck around and happen on the cool. You know, they bringing that boy over to this. I was about to say cinematic universe, but
That's fine.
what is the TV
But that-
universe?
But to fuck that up is because Geralt can't have no fucking kids. Yep, he couldn't be king of shit. He had to die somebody.
Yeah, he can never be king.
Be the king's hand.
Yeah. Game of Thrones head ass
Well, why we
nigga.
don't have no ass?
Hold the door, nigga. Hold the door, nigga. Hold the door, nigga. Hold door, nigga.
That video gone. It had got banned.
It'll come back soon. I just have to edit out a lot of shit.
Thought killing was fun, but the TV told lies.
That shit was crazy. But anyway,
Seasons go by about 2 years. We call them bicycles.
Look, on that note, we have been the Red Stage Podcast, the place where we prioritize our passions and use our prosperity as proof of our progression. I have been Robert Grant.
this your boy Stevie Baby.
I'm gonna keep it real simple. Call me Cornelius, the Weavy Wonder. Okay.
The Weeby.
Don't forget
The
to send
Weeby
your
Wonder.
emails to redsagepodcast123@gmail. That's REDSAGEPODCAST123@gmail.com.
Shout out to my boy Ty though, bro. We working out
Cause we
here.
working
Yeah,
in
we
this bitch.
working.
I'm working, but I ain't working, but I'm finna be working. All right.
That nigga got a shirt on to say, "I got your back."
Yeah. I got your back, nigga.
He got your back though, nigga.
Got your back.